fun guys.
They'll make you laugh.
They'll make you cry.
If you could smell their rooms,
You'd probably die. Punditry,
so classy,
men,
so sassy.
mouth so classy, but so gassy. Manly men who dress real jazzy. Nerds who gotta watch it all. Nerds who worst of them all. Nerds who don't forget the lube. Nerds who it's time to meet the crew. Sam consumes whatever crap is on. He's very anal in more ways than one. Cheeto is a Funko pop slut, a filthy hobbit. His legs never shut. Ginger Greek covers politics. A man so vast, he's never seen his dick. Nerdtube, gotta watch it all. Nerdtube, you're gonna have a ball. Nerdtube, our locution really bangs. Nerdtube, here's the rest of the gang. Hosea is our gamer guy. Pre-orders everything. Bye, bye, bye. However, Maeve's the wizard in our ranks. His choice of games really stinks.
Lord Donkey's turn is due.
This man loves Doctor Who.
Gary wrestle slams guys from the rear.
All the women are gone, disappeared.
Alas, MAGA block is here.
Fires his load and drinks piss for beer. Nerdtube, gotta watch it all. Nerdtube, you're gonna have a ball. Nerdtube, you really love the guys. Nerdtube, as they blast that love between your eyes. Nerdtube, gotta watch it all. Nerdtube, you're gonna have a ball. Nerdtube, subscribe, make us grow. Nerdtube, come and watch the show.
Hello?
Hello. Just waiting for people to join.
Why is it not working? Hold on. Can you hear me, Ginger?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, you're doing your intro.
It's something to do while I wait.
You'll burst a vessel trying to cope.
We welcome one.
We welcome all. Even trolls. You'll have a ball.
Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are, and welcome to Ruled by Sociopaths, which is the more apt name for this show because that's exactly what we are. We are ruled by sociopaths. I am joined by Zamo Hung. How you doing, Zam?
I'm fine, thank you. I apologize for running a little bit late. But no excuses. I got caught doing something else. And
nobody cried over 5 minutes. Give me a chance to play some crappy AI generated music. So it's all good. So we've got a stacked show, quite a few things to talk about. Obviously, because myself and Hung are football fans, we're going to talk a little bit about the World Cup. We've got Andy Burnham, the new British Prime Minister. How long will he last? And we'll get into that. And of course, the world's greatest political battle is taking place down at Clacton. We have Binman versus Frage. We also have updates on Andrew Taint. Well, there is also audio that's made its way, audio, video even, that's made its way onto the internet about the Zionists' intention to criminalize what they deem to be anti-Semitism, which is criticizing Israel and standing up for Palestine. Mandani versus Netanyahu. Sam, you put here something for Liv Morgan.
Yeah,
And,
sorry.
Don't worry, we'll get into that later. We're also going to be talking about WWE Radio. And to cap it off, we'll finish off with The Odyssey, the great film that is there. It's been very quiet in its pre-release and subsequent release, but we're still going to talk about it anyway. And on that note, let's get straight into the World Cup. Zam, lead the way.
My earliest footballing memory, James, was back in 1986. I was 9 years old, and I was watching England versus Argentina, and
Watch the hand of God.
I saw it as it happened. And you have to understand that one of the beginnings of who I am now was from this moment. Skepticism, a lack of belief, all of these things started in this football match. No justice. Maradona scores in what, in my opinion, was one of the most controversial goals of all time, the hand of God, in that World Cup match at the Azteca, 40 fucking years ago. Oh, sorry, damn it. Oh, we're 7 minutes in, aren't we?
Yeah, we're fine.
I couldn't believe it.
Crazy on the swearing though.
But yeah, I couldn't believe what I saw, and then I thought to myself, this guy's a rubbish player. He has to score like that, and then not long after that, he scored one of the greatest solo goals of all time. It's just the way he spun around, Ginge, and then just went off, and then went past everybody, and then boom, back in the net. And then I realized there's no justice in this world. The guy not only scored with his hand the first time round, he scored one of the most incredible goals of all time the second time round. And this is one of the things that led me to my skepticism. But I started watching international football first before I started watching Arsenal. And for me, I want to see England win the World Cup or a European Championship more than I want to see Arsenal win anything. Simply because every year, Ginge, at Arsenal, we have 4 or 5 opportunities to win something every year. So we screw up on something else is always on the horizon. I'm almost 50 years old, and I've yet to see my country win anything. And anytime we lose in anything, we have to wait years until the next opportunity. So losing in this World Cup is heartbreaking. Losing in the 2 Euro finals is heartbreaking because I want to see England win so desperately, just once in my life before I become too old. I made that joke on one of your Facebook threads that by the time England wins something, I would have been passed away several centuries ago. Simply because that might be the case. I want to see us win. When we lost against Argentina, I was gutted, but I blame Thomas Tuchel for that, for becoming too defensive. All of a sudden, when we
he articulated his tactics, which is unforgivable.
It's just that you don't go that defensive that early. I can understand the last 10 minutes, but you basically put us on the cosh because you could see the goal coming with hitting the post and for having to make a couple of saves and stuff like that. And then we were too defensive.
Oh, have I frozen or have you frozen?
Can you hear me?
Can
you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I don't know if it was me.
I can see you move. Everything's fine on my side.
Yeah, it always tends to be me. I don't know why.
So, and then obviously we beat France in the third place playoff, something that we've been in several times in my lifetime. And good, at least we won this one for once, which is and it's weird how the third place playoff tends to be the best match of the World Cup 9 times out of 10. It's still, we need to scrap it. But yeah, seeing Argentina get their just desserts, I was so happy. They are dirty. The South American teams are dirty teams, man.
They're all dirty. All of them,
You know,
just dirty.
all of them. They are dirty
bastards.
teams. The Paraguayans, the Brazilians, the Colombians, the Argentinians. They are nasty pieces of work. And Argentina got the, and in Argentina, the only South American country without a black player. I wonder why. There's many reasons why, but
are you implying that Argentina wiped out 36% of its black population almost 100 and something years ago, Zam? How dare you?
There's so many elements to it as well with all the Yahtzees immigrating there, ironically, after World War II, which is crazy.
The genocide of the black population of Argentina happened way before.
No, but I do believe
that. But you can see the correlation between them wiping out the black population and also harboring Yahtzees to their shores. So yeah, absolutely, you're right.
There are black parts of Argentina that got that Germanic sort of architecture to it. If you look, if you go there, but just who they are as a society and stuff like that. It's, I mean, like I've seen, like there's a place in Argentina, a burger shop called N-Word Burger.
Is it run by N-words?
No, of course not.
To call them that, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, of course not. Because you'd be pretty. And they'll actually, I saw a clip as well.
Is it spelt like the derogatory way?
I can't remember, but
Negro.
I can't remember how it's spelled, whether it be the slang way or the hard R. I can't remember.
Okay.
But regardless, it's called that. I saw a video clip of this lady who a black lady who speaks perfect Spanish, perfect English. She lives in Argentina, and she's having to suffer the issue of people touching her hair and looking at her like she's a bloody alien and stuff like that. That's the sort of country Argentina is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
so them losing to Spain, well done, Spain. Justice was done. And Spain, of all countries, have got more black players than bloody Argentina.
Yeah, which is like, again, just another thing in and of itself. Yeah, I mean, this whole World Cup was a farce. The whole thing was like, Fantino is like, what annoys me with politics and institutions and corporations today is they're so openly corrupt and in your face, and they give you this attitude of there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. Now, I think that UEFA should break away from FIFA and just create its own institution for clubs that national teams that want to join.
Well, internationally, outside of Europe.
Yeah, just have an offshoot. So you have UEFA, and then you have the UFA, UWFA, the United World Football Associations. So you have its own institution, and have very, very strict, because FIFA. There's a video from, I think it's Tifo Football, that talks about the history of FIFA, and it's just since day one it's been like open and susceptible to corruption. Its whole way of being, and guess who corrupted it? From the British started it, and guess which continent corrupted it? I'll give you a hint. One of them was in the World Cup final. The fucking South Americans. They took it over and they corrupted it. So again, fucking South Americans, man. Like, in footballing terms, I fucking hate a lot of them. I hate a lot of them. In real life terms, I just hate the Argentinians. Like, there are certain countries in this world that I just have an absolute hatred for. Argentina is one of them. Iran is the other. Israel, United States of America. And you ask me, why Iran? I hate Iranians. I do not get along with Iranians. There is something about Iranians and Greeks. We just do not get along. There's a clash of personalities, and that's why. Now, I'll always take an individual as they come, but in general, I tend to avoid either Iranians and, in particular, Argentinians and all this kind of stuff. But this country has a history with it. Has a history with Argentina. The Falklands and, of course, the World Cup. And so, yeah, seeing them losing the World Cup, the most corrupt World Cup we've ever had, one that was actually set up to help Argentina win. And now, by the way, there's going to be investigations into match fixing. Seeing Spain win was great. And by the way, we all overlooked Spain, but they haven't lost a game, 38 games unbeaten streak.
1 goal conceded in this World Cup.
And 1 goal conceded. So they were the favourites nobody was talking about. None of us saw it coming. I certainly didn't. I shout at the TV radio all the time when governments are like, sorry, we'd love to be able to do X, but insert corporation says no. I'm there shouting, I'm sorry, but aren't you? Yeah, exactly.
well said.
But Alex, you have to understand, we're not the ones paying them a shitload of money to do what we want them to do. They get their standard government salary, but it's the aftermath. They know that, hey, if I do X for corporation, I'm not only going to get put onto a nice lobbying group or a consultant position, I'm going to make more money than is feasibly possibly to make whilst I'm in government. And so sadly, like you see the arguments now, the 2 big arguments here in the UK, for example, are, we're saying fuck off to Palantir, or in America, they're saying fuck off to data centers. And what do you have? Instead, you have people being arrested for protesting at data centers, and members of the council, members of the board of like local governance in these states are literally so like just dismissive and vitriolic towards their own constituents to say, who the hell are you to say you can't have a data center? We'll put the data center. The UK, there's an environmental agency saying the UK doesn't have enough water to host data centers. It's ridiculous. Remember, the Argentinians started getting bullshit about the Falklands whenever they enter the insane. Yeah, of course, absolutely, mate. Every time they have a right-wing leader, an American puppet, the Falklands is that dangling carrot. Now, the thing is as well, the Argentinians wouldn't want the Falklands because they want it because there's oil there, but they wouldn't want it in the sense that if you start fucking up your country, you can't dangle the carrots of the Falklands on there. And speaking of the Falklands, I want to tell to all Americans, shut the fuck up about the Falklands. You don't know the history of the Falklands. You could say, oh, well, it's closer to Argentina, therefore it belongs to it. When we colonized it, and again, I would never defend colonialism, but it was empty when we colonized it, and Argentina wasn't even a country when the British settled there. Ergo, it's one of the few places that's fair game. And the people that live there, remember, there were no natives on that land. We haven't kicked anyone out, caused a genocide, anything like that. And the Argentinians are the last bloody people to even use that as a kind of argument. They voted 99.9% voted to remain within the British Commonwealth. So, end of argument. Hello, Lord Donkey. Welcome to the stream, sir.
So let us see, not the word see. For fuck's sake, you goddamn American. They can't even they can't even do that right. God damn it. Gee, that insults me. This insults me, man.
Abbreviate that, Sam. Just take the first letters of that, and what does it spell?
Oh, sorry, you've lost me.
Just take the S, the Y, the N, and the T. What does it spell?
The S, the Y, the N, and
together.
the T.
Put those letters together.
SYNT, Sint.
Yeah. See, it doesn't even make sense. Damn you, Lord Donkey. It just doesn't. Sint. Yeah, okay. You know what? From now on, we're just going to call you a Sint. All right, Sam? You got that? He's a Sint.
Yeah, okay.
He's the only one. Yeah, that's our joke. Love you, Lord Donkey. Sorry, go on, Sam.
No, like I said, regarding this World, there you go. Regarding this World Cup, yeah, there were a lot of conspiracy theories regarding Argentina, them having the easy route and all of that stuff. I mean, they made them. I really thought we were going to beat them, considering they made a meal out of Cape Verde and bloody Egypt. And it's amazing how they got through against Egypt as well. Like when there was 10 minutes left, I really thought Egypt was going to do it, but lo and behold,
Yeah, but there was a lot of refereeing decisions that went
Yeah. No.
in favor
Now,
of
what annoyed me
Argentina.
about this World Cup was the fact that so many people weren't allowed to attend this World Cup. There was a Somali referee, one of the best. He was considered to be the best referee in Africa, which in turn makes him one of the best referees in the world. Yeah, and he wasn't allowed because he's a Somali, and under Donald Trump, there is bigotry and racism and harassment towards Somalis now, which is ridiculous because Somali people are just normal people, man. There's nothing wrong with Somalis.
Somalis are lovely, man. I love
Man, I
Somalis.
work with them. Being a cab driver, I see
Yes.
them all the time in my industry, man.
They're just lovely.
Yeah, so I have no issues with it, but
All
Donald
Africans
Trump
are.
does, and so now that's it. Hatred towards them. They can't even be a referee for Christ's sake. The Democratic Republic of Congo actually has a very famous football fan. I'm not sure if you know him. He's the guy who just stands still and does it like this.
Oh yes. The guy stands on a box and just stands still. Right.
Yeah, for the whole 90 minutes. Yeah, credit to him. We needed that fan at the World Cup. That's the sort of crap the World Cup needs.
You can swear now, but just
sorry,
too much.
but that's what the World Cup needs. The World Cup needs fans like that, those iconic football fans. And he wasn't allowed to be let into the country. God knows if any of the football fans from these African nations or South American
that guy
nations
was in the country. I thought he was
no,
there.
he wasn't. He wasn't allowed in.
Oh, so all the clips I saw were just old clips then.
Yeah, they were old clips. They weren't allowed in.
I didn't really pay much attention to this. But also, which team was it that just faced like heavy security checks as well when they?
That was
got off the
Iran,
plane?
one of them. Iran, Iraq. I mean, Iraq had issues. Like their photographer wasn't allowed in. Iran. But this is the thing with Iran. You remember, Donald Trump said that he wanted to liberate the people. He wanted to liberate the people of Iran, save them, give them the power, all of that. Well, why are you treating these lovely Iranians, giving them the red carpet treatment in your own country? If you want to liberate and look after the people of Iran, well, here's your opportunity to do so by treating them like human beings.
I'm frozen again. Don't worry about me.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like Iran's coming to the country now, and instead of doing what you said by liberating, but you can't trust Donald Trump. I mean, the guy's a nonce and a convicted rapist. You can't trust anything that comes out of his mouth. But he says he wants to liberate Iranian people, and yet he treats them like crap when they're in this country for the World Cup. He wanted them to fail, and unfortunately they didn't. How are they supposed to have a good World Cup? Iran's not that bad a team when it comes to the Middle Eastern teams. It's one of the better ones, and yet they were never going to perform well with the sort of scheduling that they were given. And it's a real shame. At least Mexico treated them. At least Mexico treated them really well. Okay, whilst he resets, let me just read some of his comment here. What do you think of Saudi Arabia's plan to have a World Cup in the summer in a literally unthinkable place? It's a magic stadium in the cloud. Always love seeing the house of Saudi fail, I think you meant to say. Well, look.
No, it's right. House of Saud. That's what they're called, Saud.
Oh, sorry, I apologize. Well, look, regarding Saudi Arabia, my opinion on them is that if a Middle Eastern team has to host the World Cup, I'd rather it be them than Qatar, because Saudi Arabia consistently qualifies for the World Cup. They're always involved in the World Cup. They're a international footballing nation. Maybe not ideal to obviously them host one, but I'd rather them because they're a formidable team in the World Cup than Qatar, who's never hosted one. Regarding them having to run it in 2036, well, to 2034, I believe. I'm not surprised. It's going to be probably a Winter World Cup again, I feel.
It'll be in the winter. Yeah, it'll be in the winter. And so, it's stupid. And they want to expand it to 64 teams, which is just bloody ridiculous. It's just ridiculous.
They're going to have to make the league shorter to accommodate, or it's going to overlap. It's going to go into maybe August.
Well, FIFA and UEFA, both of these organizations, they are running players ragged. Like, it's like look how bad. Like, people are looking like, some of the England players, especially the Arsenal ones, underperformed. Yeah, because we played 100 games before we even got to the bloody World Cup. It's too much. It's too much. Everything needs to be cut down by at least 15 games. It's just ridiculous.
I got more to say regarding Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, go for it.
Some people are not necessarily the biggest fans of Saudi Arabia doing so much sport washing recently. But I do feel when it comes to their culture, they've become a bit more liberal with their culture because of Western influence within their country, and that has helped. I'm trying to find the positives. I mean, a lot of people might not have any positives at all, but America hosting the World Cup for instance should never happen. But I do feel sorry. Go on.
No, I'm just going to interject here to say this. Any country at the moment, be they Western Europe, the Middle East, USA, Israel, it is extremely hard to sit here and say, I can't believe this is going to be in the Saudi Arabia when you literally have the world's biggest terrorist state in the United States hosting events like it's
100%.
so the argument is and look, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm defending certain things that happen within Saudi Arabia. Like, for example, if you're a comedian and you lean on the political side of progressivism, taking money from the Saudi government to do comedy show is unacceptable. But if you were going to go to Saudi Arabia on your own merit and you got paid by, say, a club owner to perform there, completely different thing. So the issue with a lot of things is the government's involvement in it. But with that being said, I got back to my original point of as long as countries like the United States, even Britain, even Germany, even Israel are around committing atrocities around the world, even the bloody French and the Russians, there is absolutely no point crying over things being done in Saudi Arabia.
Don't stand on your high horse when you've got a country like America, which has invaded Venezuela, is starving the people of Cuba to death, and is doing a forever war with Iran. I mean, whatever Saudi Arabia does is nothing compared to the United States, and they were given the biggest World Cup of all time. And the whole Iran debacle is just a giant distraction regarding everything is a giant distraction regarding Israel, but Israel's committing a genocide and is now trying to take over Lebanon.
Well, there's multiple factors in there. So one is the standard American regime change. Two is the distraction from the Epstein files. And three, the most important thing that people don't talk about, all this chaos that Trump has been doing since he got into office is to enrich himself in that they keep betting on these disasters to happen. And what happens is you bet against chaos, stock prices fall, but you bet that that's going to happen. So you win a fuckload of money. And then when the stock prices fall, you buy those stock prices at a cheap price. Then you talk about peace talks and all of this kind of stuff, and everything's ticking to blue for a couple of weeks. Stock prices go up, you sell high, and then again, you bet on things failing, and it fails because you caused this war. And this is where we're at now. So for the next 2 years, regardless of now what happens with, say, Israel, America is going to be in this never-ending loop of doing something where they can bet against the stock market failing and then buy low, sell high kind of thing. This is nothing new, by the way. This is, again, if you haven't read the book, it's Disaster Capitalism by Naomi Klein. She talks a lot about this kind of strategy, and it's been around forever. Again, let's not forget when the 2008 housing crisis happened, a lot of people got rich off of it because they bet that this was going to happen, that the stock was going to crash. And it's just been going on, as far back as then and then some.
Anyway, let's move on from the World Cup. Congratulations, Spain. And you're going to be the first team to win the World Cup and then host the World Cup the following time, which will be interesting. And Ronaldo, by the way, he ain't retiring. Portugal are co-hosts. That 45-year-old when he will be there for sure, trying to have the ball passed to him so you can score goals.
No, that's fine. Keep him in the team because they play shit with him in the team, so it's great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like us with Harry Kane. We keep Harry Kane in. I know he scores goals, but when we didn't have him play against France, we were much more liberated in going forward and doing things. Obviously, the tactics had changed, the team had changed. But, sometimes you got to just bite the bullet and say, nah, fuck you. But yes, let's move on from the World Cup. We're going to move swiftly into, and not too long into, but British politics. Andy Burnham is the new Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And in his speech, he talked about wanting to end neoliberalism, devolve powers away from Westminster, and all that good stuff, and tackle the cost of living crisis, tackle homelessness, and all that's great.
Sounds
The problem is,
fantastic, Ginge. Sounds fucking fantastic.
It sounds fantastic. However, 5 minutes in, and his cabinet are not only full of ultra-Zionists, but I think it's John Healey, who is the Chancellor, is quite literally one of the worst chancellors that you could have in there because, again, he's pro-privatization. He is pro-cutting welfare and shoring up the military-industrial complex. So the clock right now for me is ticking on John Healey. And it's also, you see the thumbnail to this video, it is ticking on Andy Burnham because to now it was announced today or yesterday that there will be no rent controls implemented in the UK. The scrapping of VAT on your gas and electric bills is paltry. It is nothing. It will save you, 30 to 40 pounds a year. There is no talk of nationalisation of public utilities, possibly water, but they're allowing that to be legally challenged by the lawyers of Thames Water to block that from happening. So we'll see what's going to happen. They won't be able to block it probably because Thames Water is at a deficit, and if it's running at a deficit, you can put it back into public ownership. But it shows you the level of evil in this country where there are lobbies that could, lawyers, that could try and block you from bringing something back into public ownership. And I'm like, if the government can strip away the rights of disabled people and trans people, effectively erasing trans people from the books in this country, they can fucking take back things from corporations. It can be done. They just choose to stick the thumb up their ass. He's allowed the United States to carry on using our air bases. And, the one or two little things that he's chosen to kind of do, they're not good enough. Now, of course, it's early days. He might be like plodding along, testing the water, see what he can get away with dealing with this kind of political volatility that we have in this country. And then as powers devolve further to so what that means is instead of having to rely on Westminster to how your budgets are controlled and all of that, you have your own budget that you can invest in, and it's a better incentive to invest in your area to get more people to go there, to build on that and get surplus budgets. The way things are run now, everything's a mess. And so as a result, because all these little neoliberal status quo things, the thing that he wanted to end but showing no signs of doing it, I've given him 18 months before he's gone. And so, yeah. Right, let's go to some comments here. Zam, if you want to chime in.
I mean, the most recent one, I think, is what I'll stick with. I'm concerned that the Westminster bubble will become the Westminster Manchester dumbbell. Oh, nobody cares about the North. Try living in Truro or Lowestoft or Norwich. May as well not exist. Unfortunately, outside of some of the bigger cities, not much love gets given to the rest of the United Kingdom, and that has always been something. Unless there are tourist spots, of course, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Alex on this case. But going back to Burnham, I feel the term bread and circus comes to mind a little bit. It's like, here you go, we'll give you £2 bus fares and shit like that. Now let's go stick it to those Iranians and join the Zionists, and there you go, America, have our air base, have our bases and do what you want. And where's Donald Trump's nutsack? I need to suck on it.
Yeah, so in my opinion, regionalism, devolvement is the last gasp of a government that's all out of ideas. It's great to handle power. Well, I mean, it is a good thing to have because what we've found is, especially the North, like the North has suffered. Well, not just the North, anywhere outside the fucking M25 has essentially suffered. And so even though, yes, you're absolutely right. It's like, what could possibly go wrong is devolving powers to reform councils. There are two caveats here with this. Number one is Obviously, what we talked about earlier is it will actually help growth, and it will help being able to make your own decisions to kind of help. It's the way it used to be like. It's what it used to be like back in the day, even in my borough, and I'm in North London. Okay, but even then, like, and that was just stripped away from. I think it was in the 90s where it was just stripped away, and it all just had to be like whatever fucking big government says, and then locals can get sprinklings of budget and all this kind of shit. And that's why you see such rapid deterioration across the country. But the other thing is given these powers to a reform council is technically on paper good for Labour because it will show how much they'll fuck up their area, and they could use that to say, look, hey, we talk about autonomy and taking back control. Your local government took back control, and look what it did. It's siphoned off the money and given it to its friends. It's cut services, and it's done nothing to invest in its area, because that's what's going to happen in a reform-run area. So it remains to be seen. It is interesting to see, like, the problem is he's got off to a bad foot with the rent thing, with the USA air bases thing, and no nationalization. He should have just, come in with just at least tackling nationalization, because that would have got everyone behind him. But the fact that he hasn't talked about nationalization, it's a ticking time bomb. You understand how volatile everything is in this country, politically, the press, the media. So I give it time, but why is it a good thing to have? Look at what local authorities have done with their own budgets, gone massively bankrupt because they're not equipped nor have the news. It's the way things are now is there's not a great incentive to invest heavily in your area, because your money just gets taken by Westminster and then redistributed, whereas devolvement will allow for surplus revenue to be then held by these areas, which will allow them then, because you've also got to stand. So another big thing. So again, like, I worked in the care industry, and what we saw under the Tory government was they took away central government support for care services, and they put that burden on to councils. And so now to look after somebody who had care needs, elderly, autistic, disabled, and all of that, the entire burden fell onto local governments. And that shit like that is what caused a lot of these places to go bankrupt, let alone obviously poor mismanagement of budgets and all of that. But again, it's being run by neoliberals. What do you fucking expect? But when you have a government, when you're in a local, when you can keep your surplus, essentially, you can stop this shit from happening. So it's going to have its teething problems, but overall it is better. It's how it used to be. It's how it used to be, where local areas, local counties local boroughs and all of that controlled their own budgets and gave a certain amount to local government. It's what it used to be like. And then they took that away and just made everything exponentially worse, which is especially up north, where they just starved them of any kind of investment. Whereas this way, with devolution, they have the power and the money to invest in making their area much more desirable. Yeah, again, this is all under, because they were starved of funds as well and poorly managed. But you've also got to understand this is under the thing of austerity as well. So like I said, they got less money, their budgets fell massively, and etc. etc. So again, this stuff needs to change. Redistribution.
I call what Daniel Vance just said right here, but you can read it out. But what I call it is trickle up economics, because it doesn't trickle down. It comes. I mean, all the wealth the 1% gets is all from us, and that's why it runs like that. There's no such thing as trickle down. There's always trickle up. Not even trickle up, flood up. Flood up. But there's a lot that needs to be done. Like, people don't understand that
the cost of living crisis in this country is actually a national emergency. There are 7.4 million households that skip buying basic necessities because they can't afford them. There are 7.4 million households living in poverty. This has never happened since records have begun. There are two big crises in this country, and they're both intrinsically linked to cost of living. That is domestic violence against women and girls and poverty, rampant poverty in this country. Our life expectancy has gone down. People are shrinking because of lack of nutrition. But it's not being tackled because how the media class functions and how the world Western governments functions, they hold you to ransom to say, oh, don't do too much because we'll crash the bonds. And if we crash the bonds, we're going to fuck up your entire economy. So the system is set up to ensure as little socialism happens as possible. You can do it, but you need to take a massive hit to begin with.
It's also there to blame the wrong people for our problems. Right now, every fucking right-wing working class dickhead in this country thinks that the reason why they're in poverty is because of those goddamn boats, Ginger. Those fucking boats, mate. You know, if they blame those boats and those goddamn immigrants, that's the reason why I can't get a job. I can't earn, a decent wage because some immigrant is like living having the life of Riley, living in a hotel. Somebody made a really funny joke regarding saying all these immigrants are staying in hotels, and I'm thinking, and the person responded by saying, a hotel's job is to house foreigners. And I thought that was a great response.
Brilliant.
Yeah, but
absolutely brilliant. But let's also, sorry.
Yeah.
No, go on, Dan, go on. I'm rambling on, so you carry on.
No, I'm just saying, like, if it, I seen the guy on social media I watch called Femi, and he went to the Unite the Kingdom march, and he's trying to understand why all these people are protesting, and yeah, their lives are shit. They're no different to ours to a degree. They're not earning good money. They're struggling to survive, but they don't want to blame the people that they admire, which are the rich. They love people like Elon Musk. They love Jeff Bezos. They love Mark Zuckerberg.
They're be like them,
but they admire them as well, and to a degree because of their fascist tendencies, they love them even more. And so they think, oh, these people, they think like I do. They can't be the problem. But no, they use you because they make sure that they keep making you look the wrong way because you are a youthful tool for a rich, you're a youthful idiot for the elite, and that's one of our problems.
Yeah, and the thing is as well, like lesser educated people, dumb fucks, love authoritarianism because they do everything for them. They don't have to think. That's why they're so prone to being religious. That's why they're so prone to following large personalities like Farage or Trump, because they're like, oh, yeah, this guy's going to sort out all my problems and I don't have to think about anything and all this kind of shit. Whereas, highly intelligent people tend to be like, well, no, we need to work together as a collective to ensure that this is done, this is done, this is done. The world isn't just the simple foreign's bad, ergo poverty. There are so many different factors that play into it, and all of it just comes down to capitalism and the rich and just their never-ending greed. A good example of this, but before I do the good example, I want to get to Alex, because Alex, you are killing it in the comments, mate. Thank you. Well, and the whole small boats thing is yet another distraction ball rolled out in front of the fact that by far the largest drain on the welfare are pensions, especially exactly. Yeah, I'll come back to that. Where was I going before this, Sam? I forgot.
You mentioned you were talking about boats as well, and
the boats. Anyway, doesn't matter. ADHD. I forget things easily. But so in terms of the boats as well. So what we found when they did a survey among reform voters, they actually found that immigration and the boating was the fourth issue that they had. The three are the same as everyone else: cost of living, housing, and wages as well. So, but the narrative always being pushed. And don't forget as well, you got to understand a lot. I think well over 70%, it could be even higher than that, of people that you interact with, that you think you're interacting with on the internet that are right wing, are just bots. They're just
Yeah,
bots. And they're the ones pushing this thing about the boats and all this kind of crap. But if you talk to majority of people in the real world, yeah, they might talk about immigration and all of that. But most of them, if you actually sit and talk to them about cost of living and all this kind of shit, a lot of them do understand that, you know, the governments are corrupt and they're not doing enough. They don't understand why, because the people that they support are the ones being bought by the people that they worship. And that is why shit's like this. But they understand something is not right. And they know it's not just the fucking boat. And by the way, I was it on the topic of the hotels and immigrants in hotels. Firstly, the majority of people being put up in hotels at the time were not immigrants. It was actually homeless people, because we have
I know. I took a lot of them there during COVID.
yeah, and we dealt with a lot of that at work. And it was a big issue in my borough. So much so that the local council was literally to house people, moving them up north, as far as up as the northeast, just to get them a house. And because it's so expensive to buy a house here in the UK, in London, they were buying houses up north, like Liverpool, Hull, Newcastle, Middlesbrough, all that kind of stuff, just so that they can house people. So they were very proactive in tackling that issue. I give them kudos to that. But they also fucked up a lot of housing projects here. But I digress. The initial idea to put immigrants in a hotel was a Tory idea, and it's because guess who owns the fucking hotels? Rich landowners, rich Americans, rich corporations own those hotels. And so they benefit massively, because if, say, you and I, Zam, stay in the hotels, 50 quid a night. Well, you know what they were charging for an immigrant to stay in a hotel, charging the government or the local council 75 to 100 pounds a night. It was a huge
Easy money.
Yeah, so easy money. Your hotel is always full. You're guaranteed an income because your hotel is always full. And at the same time, you'd be like, oh, these immigrants stay in a hotel, freeloaders, parasites. Oh, woe is me. You keep them coming, though. You keep them coming. Put them in my hotel because I've made billions. Travelodge, not British company, by the way. Travelodge made a profit of 1.1 billion out of the housing crisis. So they don't talk about that part of it. It's all connected. All of it's connected. The
But
economy.
yeah, these people away from all of that, like how like terrible these haters are, like these right wing anti-immigrant people. Like when a particular incident happens, you have to wonder what the race of the person is. There has been incidences where white people have done horrendous things to people of color, like that Sikh woman.
Oh my God! I'm just gonna blow my nose, but yeah.
But we're not going to generalize all white people, are we? Because that's the one. These are one of the things of white privilege, not being generalized. Every other race, every other nationality can pretty much get generalized for doing, for being all the same when somebody from that particular demographic does something terrible. But when a white person shoots up a school, commits acts of atrocity, or when they go up smashing up local neighborhoods because a black person committed a terrible crime, so it justifies them to go down a street full of Asian people or black people and smash up their homes or whatever, or maybe they're in America, maybe their team won the Stanley Cup, so we're going to just basically burn the city down, we're not going to, great, they're just a bunch of people having fun, but we're not going to generalize them, and that's good. You shouldn't have to fucking generalize an entire demographic of people for the sake of a few. But unfortunately, people like me, black people as well, we don't get that same luxury. A handful of us might do a terrible thing. There might be a fundamentalist Muslim or whatever, or some stupid black guy doing a terrible atrocity or whatever, and then all of us get blamed, and all the bad people blame immigration, yada yada yada.
Yep. Whereas if it's a white person, it's like, oh, it's a one-off. He had mental health and all this kind of crap, and it's like
lone wolf, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, all that crap. And again, when we're not here to dismiss violence caused by refugees, asylum seekers towards women and individuals. That does happen. But that's because, again, we have underfunded vetting processes and all this kind of shit. So when you have an uncontrollable amount of people coming in, you're not going to catch a lot of arseholes. And there is a good chunk of people that flee their country because they're wanted as well. But that number, in comparison to those that genuinely flee for their own safety or because we've blown up their country, is minuscule. You know what I mean? The one thing that drives the right wing is absolutely insane is when you retort it with, well, men by far and away commit the most violent crimes, so we will definitely deport all men. No, that's a great retort. And it's true. It's like black, Asian, white. What's the common theme is men. It's men. You know, I've talked in the past here about Greece and the rise of domestic violence in Greece. And yet again, the rise of violence towards women and girls in this country and the rise of violence towards women and girls in Greece is the same. It's the exact same reason. Brown people. No, I'm just kidding. Poverty.
It's always it is positive. It is poverty.
It's
I
poverty.
100%. You know, like people have nothing to do. People have got nothing to live for. You know, even boredom causes all of that shit. You know, and that's to do with poverty as well. You know, when we were young, Ginger, we had things like youth clubs and stuff like that. All gone. You know what I mean?
I
Everything.
didn't have.
You know,
That's the thing. So you're obviously. I mean, there's not that.
and
much
I was at the tail. I was at the
anything
tail end of that, by the way.
Yeah,
Even
you was at the tail end of it, and I didn't have any of it.
going to like, you know, if you want to play tennis in your local park, you got to pay for that now. You know what I mean? You can't just go rock up to the tennis court and just start playing. You know, you got to pay for anything you want to do. Cost money. Like even for teenagers, anything you want to do, you need an adult wage to do it. You know, there's no,
Yeah.
you know, and then that in turn causes crime. Poverty is a massive issue. If people had money in their skyrocket, we wouldn't have issues like this at all. You know, this is why we pay our taxes, so our government gives something back instead of bloody funding a Middle East regime that's committing a genocide. You know, that's what where our money's going to. And it's pissing me off.
So I'm just reading his comment here. Whoever views were aggressive for the what's
Move on to
16th century? That I never
let's
taught by anyone.
let's move on to the next thing. By the way, let's go with
Sure.
as I mentioned down the Middle East. Let's go on to, you know, the real main event. It's not whoever Anthony Joshua is fighting this weekend, but I have no idea. You know, it is Mamdani versus Bibi Netanyahu. Ding 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 ding. My God. I don't think Zoran Mamdani has any chance, by the way, of getting Bibi Netanyahu arrested, because Bibi Netanyahu is almost like one of the shadow fucking presidents of the United States. But all credit to him. All credit, Europe pretty much.
Yeah.
Most of the first world. But I give him credit for just going out there publicly and making that statement, you know, and saying, you know, what it is. And if, as the mayor of New York, he should provide no security for Bibi when he gets to if he decides to come to New York, any sort of, like, even if you can't arrest him, fine, I ain't going to protect you either. You're on your own, motherfucker. Unless obviously Donald Trump decides to do that, which is very likelihood. But no funding from New York should be there for
no
Bibi
special treatment.
Exactly.
And you know he's going to go.
Nothing.
You know he's going to go to New York, just either to visit the UN thing or just as a big fuck you to say.
Yeah, it's a big fuck you. That's more than anything. It's a big fuck you to Zoran.
But you know, listen. If he does, then hey, Iran. You know, you have openly stated you intend to do the thing with Bibi and with Trump. Good opportunity. Just saying.
No, but it's going to come to the. I don't want innocent people to be.
No, just like a single target. I don't want, like, you know. But
honestly, the whole world is with you on this one. Let's just be honest. You know, we all want these motherfuckers gone.
Yeah, I mean, the percentage of people that actually give a shit about Israel is small, but their voice is the loudest because they control the narrative.
Yeah.
And which brings us comfortably still within the realm. Don't worry, we're still on topic. So if you want to drop back to the BB thing, that's absolutely fine.
No, that's fine.
I'm
That's
just
what
going to
I'm setting
play.
up. All right.
Oh, pardon me. Sorry. Oh, shit. Just going to play this. Just make sure it's up and running. I've always loved the fact that when BB flies to America, his jet has to thread the Strait of Gibraltar because he's banned from Spanish and Moroccan airspace. Yeah, well, you should fly under it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. Right, what was I doing? Let me get the thing up. This one. Thank you very much. Okay, we can all see that. Let me expand the video and let me play it. Make sure the volume is turned up. Okay.
We're still fighting the Amalekite War. Just the name of the Amalekites has changed over time. What are we supposed to do about this
sound
mess?
like Chuck
Okay,
Schumer?
we've only been.
What's that?
Why do all fucking Jewish New Yorkers sound like Chuck Schumer? Like that sort of nasal fucking voice.
Yeah, they're all very nasally New York.
They all sound like
Jews,
Kyle's cousin, also called Kyle in South Park.
I'm back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fighting for 3,300 years. Or if you start with Abraham, we've been fighting for 3,800 years. So I have another slide. And the title of this slide is?
Anyway, so I'm not going to play the whole video, but this is the bit I want to get to here. Time to criminalize anti-Semitic incitement to genocide. Slogans. So
fuck
essentially,
the First Amendment. Basically.
What's that? Yeah, fuck the First Amendment. And by the way, this is happening in the UK already. It hasn't come to America as much, but it's happening in the UK. So slogans like "From the River to the Sea," "Globalize Intifada," "Free Palestine," BDS, Al Jazeera News. I mean, the amount of times they've tried to just shut Al Jazeera down. Holocaust and October 7th denial. Well, Holocaust denial, I mean, is just you're an idiot if you deny the Holocaust. But October 7th, what they're talking about here is essentially denial that grapes happened. And all this kind of stuff, which they didn't happen. Hamas did not. There is no evidence that Hamas unalived little kids and raped women. So that's what they want to criminalize. That even things like defund the police, whatever this Islam and Sharia and blasphemy laws and all this kind of stuff. So there's the broad thing that they want to criminalize as like. Anti-Semitic and terrorist, and how do I end this bloody screen now? I think I did it here. Yeah, stop sharing and all this kind of stuff. I didn't want to bore anyone with the conversation, but I'll post a link in the comments, and people can go and watch that for them.
This is what annoys me about American freedom of speech is that it's really just something for the right wing. They don't like other people using freedom of speech. It's in the toilet, Cheeto. But I've got a black hat and a blue hat. But anyway, they when it comes to people like the Klan and the Proud Boys and the and the 3%ers and whatever, they'll get police escorts while they sprout their anti-black nonsense. No problem. That's the First Amendment. They are allegedly allowed to have all these freedoms. But anybody want to say anything against Israel, a foreign nation, how dare you? Even especially in this country, you get arrested for that shit.
Oh, in the UK, the UK is way worse.
Speak out against another country. Can you believe that? It's so crazy.
Yeah,
it's just so crazy.
I can literally say anything I want about my own country, about America, about Ukraine, about Russia,
about Mongolia,
about Iran. I can say anything, even Saudi Arabia. But if I say anything about Israel, that's it. Career over. Arrested. It's ridiculous. Like, we have a fucking organization here called UK Lawyers for Israel. And do you know what they do here? They go around attacking anyone critical of Israel or showing any modicum of support for Palestine. And the amount of doctors and nurses they've tried to get sacked is ridiculous. Like, this is pure fascism, and we're allowing it to happen with such a blasé attitude.
Well, Ginger, what it is as well is that back in the day, and when back in the day is not long ago, by the way, but back in the day, it was taboo to speak against Israel. There was no legal requirements. You said something against Israel, you were immediately anti-Semitic, and that was the end of you. But now that shit doesn't work anymore, and so now they're going after you legally. If they can't go after you, morally, they'll go after you legally, and that's what they're doing.
That's it. And the thing is, they need to understand that no matter what they do, they have lost the war on propaganda. It's not even going to be a generational thing before they can turn the tide back, because it'll take 100 years now to steer the ship back to where they want it to be. And so they know this, and as a result, rather than do the pathetic attempt to kind of take over social media and control the narrative, which they're still going to do, they're just going to force countries to change laws so that you crush any kind of dissent or speaking out and all this kind of stuff. And I say to people, the thing I get annoyed with this country is our youth are fucking useless at protesting compared to any other country. Like, if you look at India at the moment, they've got the cockroach protests and all of that because, again, of how the system is unjust. When you see a lot of Free Palestine kind of marches happening in this country, the vast majority of it is middle-class, middle-aged people who have the time to kind of attend this process. And I love these people. Don't get me wrong. I'm not criticizing them. What I want to see the youth pissed off and out in the streets really going after the cost of living crisis, like really drop that home. Because if you want to tackle the issue of Palestine without fearing for being criminalized, all you have to do is switch the focus and the narrative to the cost of living. Because if you get a left-wing government in, hey, guess what? All of a sudden, bang, they're going to tackle that issue. So we have
to get a left-wing government, man.
Sorry,
if we get a left-wing government, what concerns me the most, Ginge, is that every time a left-wing party is supposed to come into power, they've been run by right-wingers. Tony Blair, Gordon Brown, Keir Starmer, possibly Andy Burnham. These guys don't represent the party that they're in charge of. And I even with the Greens, if they ever do miraculously get into power, I'm concerned about that as well at some particular point.
Well, I mean, the issue with the Greens is, the thing is, like, so there is a contingent within
I think they've lost their
party
momentum, by the way.
that are still kind of, because of Andy Burnham, but give it time. And when we see that Andy Burnham's not doing anything, they'll pick up their momentum again, hopefully. But the thing is, now, about a year ago, we were talking about, say, the next general election, and when we were saying, like, reform's going to get in. The way things stand now is we're looking at a hung parliament at the next election. Like, reform are no longer clear favorites for anything. Like, the fallout on Farage and just seeing reform in action locally and how useless they are. Yesterday, they lost 2 council by-elections that went back to Labour in Thurrock, in Essex. Essex is like a reform stronghold. They've already lost because they're so fucking useless. And so people are finding out what they're like locally, and so nationally, they're just eventually just going to be like, some people vote for them, some people won't, and it's going to be a mess. But what we need to guarantee is that the Greens win at least 30 seats so that they can have some kind of sway on the matter. What annoys me is the fucking Lib Dems are still around and Conservatives still around like cockroaches. They won't go. And both of those parties need to get out of the bloody way because they are just, a pain in the ass. So, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I can guarantee you 2 things. Complete and total fascism, complete total collapse. What happens after that? That's up to the youth, because the youth are always the ones that drive the movements. But in this country, our youth just don't care. They're so apathetic en masse. especially those in.
it's social media and stuff like that, dude. The distractions of it.
Yeah,
I
cool.
speak to people all the time. I don't do politics. I don't do politics. Because politics is complicated, boring, and you get nothing from it. I mean, people have been disillusioned from politics, since whoever you vote for doesn't change shit. So anyway, we were supposed to talk about Mamdani, but I want to go on
Oh yeah,
to
back to Mamdani. Sorry, Zam.
no, I'm fine. I think I want to talk about Liv Morgan. Funnily
Oh, okay.
enough, there was a
Hang
really.
on, is that next on my topic? It isn't, but I don't care. Go for it.
There's a. The funny thing is regarding Liv Morgan is that people are kind of surprised regarding her, but she's apparently going out with a fundamental Christian who does conversion therapy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm trying to find the I'm trying to find the information regarding this person right now. I should have been a bit more prepared. Let me just type in conversion therapy here in the old.
That's true, but I still wouldn't trust the Lib Dems to implement that. Now, to be fair, Andy Burnham has also talked about a national care system. But again, we've got people crying, but rich people need money.
Yeah, sorry. So I was about to say, like, there was a wrestler, a lesbian wrestler called Sonya Deville, who Liv Morgan was really good friends with in real life, and so the fact that being friends with this person and then going down this direction is kind of shocking, but it shouldn't be too shocking to a degree, considering the WWE, regardless of having maybe a couple of people in there who might not necessarily be the way they are. The rest of them are like, say, Finn Balor and CM Punk. The WWE is pretty much MAGA. They're MAGA all the way, from the people who run the place and the people who wrestle for them as well. But here's something I found regarding Liv Morgan. WWE's Women's World Champion Liv Morgan is facing criticism on social media following news of her involvement with a Texas-based non-profit organization connected to her boyfriend's family. Morgan remains one of the biggest stars on the Raw roster and has been a central figure in WWE's women's division. Earlier this year, she confirmed that she's dating Landon Hardwick. That's a fucking American name if you can ever find one.
Gets.
A real estate agent with Isaiah 61 Properties LLC. Recently, Morgan began working with Together We Thrive, TWT, a North Texas nonprofit foundation led by Hardwick's mother, Tracy Hardwick. According to the organization's mission, TWT focuses on mentoring and supporting young people throughout North Texas. The nonprofit also lists a ministry partnership with Watermark Church, which promotes a Christ-centered recovery program addressing various life challenges, including same-sex attraction. Following reports highlights Morgan's connection to the organization, the WWE star became the subject of online backlash. Some fans criticized her association with the nonprofit and its ties to the Hardwick family, with several social media users labeling them as aligned with the MAGA politics. One fan wrote, "Talk about a disappointment. Damn, MAGA, that's me. This is just fucking disgusting. Sweeney of pro wrestling. Jesus." Liv Morgan is now active, and this is a tweet somebody wrote. Liv Morgan is now actively promoting a ministry organization owned by her boyfriend, a MAGA boyfriend's mother, Tracy Hardwick. The organization is TWT Texas, which has a ministry partnership with the Watermark Church, a homophobic church that advises conversion therapy on its website. That's all I got.
Well, I mean, she's Italian, so fucking what do you expect?
No.
I
know an Italian person who I used to work with a gay Italian guy.
I'm joking. Like Italians are again, Italian Americans are something else though. They're different kettle of fish, but that's just fucking disappointing. Like, how stupid! But in order for you to take that leap to date somebody like that means that you're definitely aligned in that area politically. And it always goes to show that the people that are always the quietest about politics are always the ones are conservative. And that's very disappointing with Liv Morgan, to be honest. Because I mean,
I thought
she's amazing.
isn't she Canadian?
No,
She's American.
she's American. She's Italian American.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just like I said. I mean, look, we shouldn't be surprised though that so many wrestlers are MAGA at the same
No,
time.
I'm not surprised. Meatheads are always tend to like lean. You could tell the ones that aren't because they're the ones that are very clever on the mic, very articulate, very well spoken. They're the ones that aren't well, with exception to Glenn Jacobs, Kane, who is not only a MAGA, but he's a fucking MAGA mayor and all this kind of shit. But I mean, it should have surprised me, but it's still disappointing. It definitely is.
I don't know where Cody Rhodes lies in this. Sometimes you think he's on the left, and other times he's on the right. It's a bit weird with Cody Rhodes.
I would say Cody Rhodes is whatever Brandy Rhodes tells him to be, because you could tell from how he's spoken to in the past when he was like, I don't see color, and his wife was like, well, actually, that's not. I understand the sentiment, but that's not the right approach to have because that means you're blind to kind of the suffering of minority groups. And he's like, yeah, that really opened my eyes. And then he was like, hey, I had a black kid. Now I've ended racism. Remember that whole AEW fucking thing? So I think Cody Rhodes, in terms of politics, he's nowhere. He's just whatever kind of thing. But I think it's his wife that is.
Oh no, look, we got one of these. If you have a political label, you've already been fooled. Left wing, right wing, liberal, national, all from the wings of the same bird. Mate, I'm not a homophobe. If you're a homophobe, you're a right wing cunt. Simple as that. You're not part of the left whatsoever. The left wing, we want to give people universal health care. We want free education. We want people to have proper working life. So they have to work to live. They can, or to live to work or work to live. But you know what I'm trying to say. We want people just to be able to not have to work for rich people. Regular people can earn decent wages, live a good life, go on vacation anywhere, buy whatever property they want, go anywhere around the world. We want gay people and trans people to be treated like human beings, have the same rights as everybody else, be able to adopt kids and all of these sort of things. We don't want religious fundamentalism to be shoved down our throats and basically told how we should dictate our lives. Unlike the right wing, who does all of that shit. That's what it means to be on the left. There's no middle ground on that bullshit. If you're a centrist, you're a fucking cunt anyway. But that's how I feel regarding all of that.
Yeah. Welcome, Beaster Lives. Let's just make it perfectly clear here.
The left doesn't exist. Mate, I am the left. I'm as left as you can fucking get. I'm I'm so fucking far fucking left. I'm surprised I'm right-handed.
Okay, let's firstly, let's break this down a little bit. Beasters, I don't know if you live in the States or not. Firstly, welcome to the stream. Appreciate the comments. Secondly, this comment here. Now, people on the left understand this, okay? The left, the liberal, all this kind of shit. It is a divisional thing because it's a purposely created division among, say, non-left-wing people that tend to fight for the working class. And at the end of the day, that's what it is. But you need people to get to that point to understand, yeah, actually, it's the working class versus the elites. But there's so much other garbage that people get distracted and embrace as a distraction that they fail to realize that, this woke lefty over here and this milquetoast centrist over here, we're all working class. How about we unite and then fight the elite? And then we'll be like an unstoppable force. But unfortunately, that doesn't happen. So until that happens, there is left, right, and center parties and far right and far left.
Oh, look, you're the polite one for once, Ginge. How things have changed. People like me on the left, we want people who are on the right, working class right people, to have all the best things in life. We're not trying to deny people anything, unlike the people on the right who wants to give us draconian laws and put us in positions where we have to struggle all the time with the cost of living crisis and all that sort of shit. We want the world to be a better place, even for the people who dislike us, who have disdain for us. We want them to have universal healthcare. We want them to earn better money. We want them to have free education. These are the very things that people on the right who are working class don't necessarily want. The rest of us to have. If some person who's not British comes in this country and needs medical services, I have no problem with that person going into our hospital and being treated for free, no issues whatsoever. That's what a hospital's there for, to help people regardless of their nationality. But people on the right, maybe working class people, don't necessarily have that same agenda because they're wankers.
Yeah. So on this, so you can't see the right as the enemy. Look, again, to put it perfectly clear, we keep trying to explain to the right wing that we're not your enemy. The woke isn't your enemy. The communist isn't your enemy. You are working class like the rest of us. Just, you don't even have to say, oh, I'm joining the left because this. Just to say, motherfucker, everything's so expensive. I need to afford to live. Who is fighting for that? Which side? Oh, it's these people over here. Fine. We might not align socially or on things, but economically, we are much more aligned than anything. And that's the most important thing. And that is why people on the right should always selfishly say, I want to afford a house. I want a livable wage. I want to not go bankrupt through my medical bills, things like that. And if you just focus on that, all the stupid woke crap and all the kind of left, right, center stuff becomes irrelevant when you focus on the money. Everyone here knows what I always say. I always say, focus on the money, Lebowski. It's all about the money. And if you focus on that, you will find that you have far more things in common with the left than you do your own side. Because go on.
Labels like racist, etc., can't be thrown about. Just because someone on the right wants to put their people first. Put what people first? White people first, or the people within their country first? What about human beings first? People in need first. Surely that should be the more important things, regardless of what part of the earth you've come from. Human beings first, the more needy people first, is way more important. As a society, as a planet, as a globalized world, we should be trying to help everyone who needs help, regardless of where they're from. We put ourselves first, and the people who have all the power, have all the money, are constantly making other people look the wrong way. We were talking earlier about blaming people coming on boats, refugees and stuff, why their lives are shit, when in realities it's constantly the rich people. But unfortunately, some people on the right, especially working class, have this racist gene within them where they have to hate and shit on people who are different. And you do label them racist. When you got people like Donald Trump blaming Somalis for everything, so much so that during the World Cup, as we spoke about earlier, a Somali referee can't come into America to do his job. That's racism, and that's a right-wing trait, mate. That is 100% a right-wing trait. Blaming for foreign people who look different to you. I've experienced that racism just coming into America. I've experienced it in the past. When you have South Africans like Elon Musk telling people within our country, right-wing idiots, what to do, and they're going, yes boss, you might be a foreigner yourself, Elon Musk, but you're white, so you're fine. I'm fine with you telling me what to do. You're not only a foreigner, but you happen to be white and rich, and that's fine by me, because those are the foreigners I tend to listen to. It is racism,
right.
When
No, that's right. I want to just get to this comment here. I agree, human beings first doesn't mean one should be fully tolerant LGBT immigration. But you see, this is why you end up getting labeled as a racist.
Well, with the LGBT?
One second. I want to put this into context here. Let's focus on immigration. Forget the LGBT thing for now. Let's focus on immigration. You don't like immigrants coming to your country, a country which was destroyed by immigration, white immigrants that completely colonized and then butchered the entire population. But let's take things in the now. You don't like immigrants coming into your country. Firstly, who's bringing them into your country? Why are they coming into your country? There's two main factors here. And again, it falls down to the rich. They're bringing them in for cheap labor, but also you've got people coming in droves into your country and my country because we're blowing up their country. So again, if you became a socialist or you adopted socialist policies, Guess what happens if the whole world became socialist? Guess what happens overnight? No wars, no reason to go to war, no creating a boogeyman enemy that's of a different shade of hue to you, which also means these foreigners are not having their country blown up. And it also means that everyone has a policy of fair labor, work paid, affordable housing or free housing, free healthcare across the board, across the planet. What then would incentivize Jamal to leave Pakistan to come to America? There's no incentive. Why? Because in his homeland, it's not getting bombed by Americans. He can afford to live. He has a livable wage, and everything within his own community and his own people functions as it should be if we are to progress as a society. But that's not what's happening. You see, the people in charge, the elite, who are right wing, are ensuring that the status quo of capitalism happens where they can extract as much wealth from every single fucking facet and every single country in the world, and thus creating chaos. Like, you probably aren't even aware of the amount of civil wars going on in Africa. And that, why? Because the Americans want to disrupt the Belt and Road Initiative brought in by China, which would also allow China to extract minerals from the countries, but as a result of that, they get their infrastructure built and modernized. And America's version of tackling that is to say, well, we're going to fund a bunch of militias to blow the shit out of this country because that's how America functions, because it also helps the weapon manufacturers profit. So once you understand all of that, and if you tackle things where the entire world follow the same civilization, it doesn't have to be socialism, call it something else. Let's call it equal rights for everyone, a fair wage, affordable living, no billionaires, no landlords, no elite class whatsoever. Guess what? Sanchez doesn't have to leave Mexico to come to your country. It's as simple as that.
He said something earlier which triggered me. You did trigger me, Beast, by the way. I agree, human being first, but doesn't mean one should be fully tolerant of the LGBT immigration. And then he followed up by saying, because one must realize that some things pushed are used to poison society. Nothing's getting pushed, mate. You know what it is? It's acceptance. And I think people who don't like acceptance are thinking that things are getting pushed. There's nothing wrong in being gay. If people want to, in America, if you want to proudly walk around with a thong on your face, and I'm exaggerating here, but I'm going through the full extent here. If you want to walk around with a thong on your face, wearing a cape with the rainbow colors on it, you know what that is? That's freedom. The very thing you guys on the right love to go on about, freedom. And when it comes to freedom, you somehow have an issue with it when it comes to other demographics of people. You don't want them to have freedom. You don't want gay people to have freedom. You don't want them to be able to express themselves, which is really weird for a country that likes to call themselves the land of the free. So there's nothing wrong in being gay. It's just the fact that you guys just don't like to accept them anymore, and you have an issue with that. Nothing's being pushed down your throat, mate. It's called equal rights. And when you are at the top of the food chain, equal rights feels like oppression.
Yeah. So on this one here, no, you're being fooled. Elites are not right wing nor left wing. The elites are white, black. Look,
What's
again,
Elon Musk? What's Elon Musk?
To the point of that. That's fine. Let's say, okay, the elites don't have a political class because they do.
Transgenderism is acceptable. Sorry. It is acceptable. 100% acceptable. It's freedom. It's freedom, mate. It's acceptable. Of course it is. If people want to change their gender, who are you to tell them not to?
And again, look what you're focusing on. How does transgenderism affect you? How does it affect you? It doesn't affect your life. And then you're going to be like, oh, but the children. You don't give a fuck about the children. If you give a fuck about the children, you would be tackling the cost of living crisis. Okay.
Ban Mrs. Doubtfire. Ban Mrs. Doubtfire right now. Fuck's sake, if that's the case.
And again, so to the point of like, there are plenty of Turks in the UK. There are plenty of Turks in Germany as well. Turkey, again, has always been under the yoke of American imperialism, forced into adopting neoliberal policies, and also has had right-wing governments. Ataturk right now, Ataturk. the idiot in charge now, Erdogan, he's a far-right lunatic, a religious zealot. And he's destroyed the economy in Turkey, and there are wars in Turkey. But
He's
also,
destroyed the
Turkey,
culture of Turkey, dude. There's no
Yeah.
arts and stuff like that
oh,
anymore.
exactly, he's completely destroyed the country, and a lot of people that have fled Turkey are political because they're wanted as well. Someone like Hassan Piker can't go back to Turkey; he'd get arrested. Friends that we know that have come from Turkey can't go back to Turkey because they're journalists, and they'll get arrested. And also, on the flip side, Turkey has 1.8 million refugees from the people that the Israelis and the Americans have fucking blown up from those countries as well. And Turkey, there are wars in Turkey. They're slaughtering the Kurds. They've invaded Syria, and they're about to go to war with the Israelis. So again, it's all connected.
He said it's dangerous. It's not biology. It is like these people are in the wrong body, mate. And we're talking about less than 1% of society. The way you guys on the right, and you are on the right, dude. When you start chatting your shit, you are 100% right wing. When you start coming up with this bollocks, why do you have an issue with such a small demographic of people? What is it with the right wing and them having to target every demographic of minority possible? It's just crazy. And you guys can't stop thinking about trans people. You got trans people on the brain. I'm sure. Most right wingers, I'm pretty sure their entire bloody internet history is full of trans porn. In the high street doesn't affect me personally. A smackhead in the high street affects me. These people shouldn't be smackheads in the first place. We should try to control these people with our tax money and give them a better life. When it comes to my tax money, I want to improve society. I don't want to, like I say, fund wars and shit like that. I don't want it to be going to things that doesn't improve the society I'm living in. I want to house homeless people. I want to get crackheads off the street and rehabilitate them and make them productive members of society. It does bother me when I see crackheads on the street because it's a failure of society. It's a failure of government. So I have an issue with that.
Yeah, I just want to go back to this. Alex, this is a fucking brilliant comment, by the way. I love this comment. Top stuff. So here we have this one. So you guys vote. Yes, I voted in every single thing that has been eligible for voting since I was of legal voting age in this country. I have never missed a by-election, a local election, a referendum, a mayoral election. I haven't missed a single thing. I've always voted, and I have. I'm not going to sit there and pretend like, I've always voted left wing. I voted for Boris Johnson to be London mayor because I hated Ken Livingstone, who sold out his principles. And as a student, he made bus travel for me very expensive, and our council tax skyrocketed after him because of him. So I voted Boris Johnson to vote in. That's the only time I've ever voted for a Tory, and I don't regret that vote because when I was a builder, what did he do? He got rid of the western extension of the congestion charge, which was a huge plus for us. So I voted for what ended up benefiting the working class. And believe it or not, with Boris Johnson, he actually did some stuff a lot better than Ken Livingstone. Yes, he was massively corrupt, but hey, my council tax froze for 3 years. The western congestion charge was gone, which was a huge thing. And, those were the two main things because the bus fares never fucking changed and all of that. But we ended up with the Boris bikes as well, which were fun. But most of the time, other than that, I've always voted kind of whoever benefits the working class. And it's as simple as that. But I've never missed a vote. That's what I do. You can't fucking take part in society if you're not voting. You can't just sit there and be like, well, I don't vote because it's pointless. You can throw away your vote to a candidate that might not get, because again, America is not a functioning democracy at all. 2 parties, ridiculous. All right. But at least you can say, I voted. There you go, I get a voice. But people that don't vote are the ones that complain about everything. I'm like, well, that's because you don't know politics. You just know things are bad, but you don't know why things are bad. But you're very quick to have an opinion on why everything sucks and the wrong opinion, and then complain even though you don't vote. I'm like, well, go fucking vote.
But when people come up with a solution, when there are people who are so radically different, like the Greens here in the UK, all of a sudden, oh, we can't vote for them. You know, like they're just too different. You know, like this is the solution. The guy's giving us a solution, you know, to the problems we have in society, and yet somehow they're too extreme for a lot of people. It's just fucking great. Well, we're never gonna fucking resolve anything, are we? You know, if that's the case, it pisses me off. And this guy says he's not on the right, he's not center. Well, then what the fuck are you? You're definitely not left. Yeah, and then also he says no one said it's bad to be gay. That's great. No one thinks being gay is bad. But what bandwagon? What bandwagon? What Pride Month? You know, like what band? What are you doing? Well, do you have a problem with Pride Month? 1 month in a year dedicated to gay people. You know, there's like several months in the calendar which is to do with the military and shit like that within the United States. No one cares about that. You know, why do you have an issue with gay pride? And the reason pride exists in the first place is that there's still discrimination against gay people, dude. You know, and you know, there's still discrimination against it. You know the way I look. By the way, the way I look, and I'm a cab driver. In case not many people know, some people do. Obviously, I get gay people who come into my car, and I have to make sure that within my car, I have like little effigies here and there, like a little rainbow saying here and there. So when that, you know, I wear a rainbow lanyard around my neck, you know, when I'm working. But I want any gay person, any LGBTQ person who sees me to know that I'm not your stereotypical brown-looking, Muslim-looking guy, even though I'm not Muslim, but Muslim-looking, homophobe-looking guy. I want them to know that I am an ally because I want them to feel comfortable around me. I want them to be okay, to know that I'm cool. It's so important to me, you know, because of that.
Yeah. I just want to get to this. I would completely unironically say the Johnson government was the most socially and economically progressive government we've had. Yeah. Some of the policies they put in, it's crazy to think that Johnson, of all fucking people, and the only thing that was his downfall was the Brexit thing. You know, which I mean, Brexit just fucked this country up anyway. But back to this question here, in terms of like who do I vote for? I've said before, I vote for whatever benefit the working class. So when Corbyn was in power, was in charge of Labour, I voted for Labour.
Likewise.
Otherwise,
Now I'm
I've either
agreeing.
voted the Socialist Working Party, the Trade Union and Socialist Coalition Party, or lately the Greens. I'm actually also a member of the Green Party, and I attend all the meetings. I do what I can to kind of help raise awareness when local elections are happening. So I'm actually actively taking part in the political system. I'm voting on policies within the Green Party because the Green Party, how it runs is not say Zam being the leader of the party can't just say, right, today we're going to take this can and make it into a missile. You have to go through the entire membership to vote. They put it through, they put a thing and say, right, what are your thoughts on this? And then people get to vote on it. It's not like a top-up decision. It's a full membership thing. So I'm actively now within the Green Party. I take part, and all this kind of shit. And the thing is, my job is politics. That is my job. Everything I do in my job is politics. It's what I've done for the last, like, God knows how many years. Even when I was in the care industry, that's still all fucking politics because you have to deal with the system and all this. But my job as it stands now and my pastime and my life evolves around politics. So I'm pretty much the right person to be talking about the subject and understanding of it. And also, I can openly say that my politics, as I've become more aware of things, has shifted from center-right to socialism because you see things how they are. And I was educated by friends who are socialists and to say that, well, okay, this is your opinion, but this is the evidence. And when you look at the evidence, it's like, oh, okay, I'm wrong. It's this. But again, I would rather just be, hey, I'm working class and I'm fighting for the rights of the working class and the middle class and all that against the fucking elites.
By the way, look at this. Check this out. This is my Star Trek rainbow.
Very gay.
I've worn this for 2 days now. I wore it yesterday and today. I should have got changed, but today's my day off work, so fuck it. So yeah, man, gay as fuck is that? Oh,
nice t-shirt. It's a nice t-shirt.
Thank you very much.
Hang on. So you vote Labour? I voted Labour under Corbyn, not under Starmer. Oh, okay, mate. No worries. I vote Labour under Corbyn. Definitely not Starmer. The Fabian Society, is that the Peter Thiel thing? Refresh my memory. Guys, stop making fun of the guy. Clearly, he saw some gay people in public once and it turned him gay. Oh, wait, that's how it happens and not how it works. Isn't that weird? Yeah, I mean, again, with Mr. Beast, I don't mean to call it that, but you know what I mean. I'm trying to tell you what you should be focusing on that would make you see things. I mean, you get it, but you're not there yet because you're still talking about gay people and immigrants. Whereas if you throw that out the way and just focus on the elites and that you're working class and just focus on the money, Lebowski, you'll find you'll suddenly become public enemy number one. So a good example of that is if you see how the DSA is slowly taking over the Democratic Party and how the centrists are having a meltdown because, as Alex alluded to earlier, centrists are always side with the right wing because they are fucking useless, milquetoast cowards. And the only time you ever see a centrist work hard is to crush the left. But they always capitulate
like
to
the Democrats.
Okay,
like the establishment Democrats in America. I've always said my phrase is I've never met a centrist that wasn't right wing. And Daniel Vance, if Barron Trump gets subpoenaed, you know what? I'll give you $1 million.
Yeah, that would be hilarious.
Have we talked about Let's talk about the Tates. Have we talked about the Tates?
What's that? We'll talk about them in a minute. What's that? Do you really think Farage and the Green Party leader hate? Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. Oh, Zach Polanski fucking hates. He hates the establishment. He hates them with a passion. Like, you know, oh my God, I've lost Zan. He's disappeared. Yeah, but Starmer did not hate Farage. There's that famous video of him in Parliament when after they done, I think it was like a vote to fuck over the working class or something like that. Starmer just casually walks over to Farage and they start having a pally chat. And also you've got to look at the media response to say Farage, who got endless glossing by media and primo fucking coverage. Him and Zia Yusuf compared to how they act on Zach Polanski and also the questions they ask Zach Polanski. So when you always have a left-wing candidate or a left-wing politician on a show, look at the questions that they ask. The first thing they always ask is NATO and then immigration. It's always that. It's always about NATO, defense, war, and immigration. They never talk about fiscal policies. Why? Because they know the minute they let a left winger talk about fiscal politics, it's fucking game over. But people become more aware of actual things. So pay close attention to things like that. This is when you understand that why, and you've got to understand what the Americans, like through McCarthyism and the rampant murder of socialists around the world at the end of the Second World War and all this kind of shit. And then all of a sudden you think, oh, hang on, there's a reason why they're going after the left so bad, so much. Because they're a genuine threat to the rich and the powerful. They're not a threat to the working class. Don't let them fool you. And secondly, right now, was it Mike Johnson, the speaker, wants to like label the left and as terrorists, like people like fucking Mamdani and Hassan Piker as terrorists. And what's their message? Oh, the working class are suffering. Let's fix that. You understand? When you understand that, the gay thing becomes fucking irrelevant.
Just a couple of things. This guy wants, first of all, to Alex, I have 5 birds. I keep 3 of them separate to my other 2, but they don't get along. My 2 lovebirds are Bonnie and Clyde, and my other 3 birds, which you saw earlier, were Sonny, the orange one, Lemon, the yellow one, and Icarus, the green one. And this fucker here named Icarus.
Yes,
and by the way, yes, where does the guy on the right come from? Ancestry. You see, my ancestry matters, and yet both of us are from immigrant families, yet you're white, so it don't mean shit for you, Greek. My ancestry, what matters to this dude. I am of Indian descent, but my family have several generations in the country of Tanzania, East Africa, because during British colonization, they sent lots of people from Asia, Central Asia, that is, to East Africa, like countries like Tanzania, Kenya, Mozambique, Zimbabwe, Uganda, bits of South Africa. So yes, I'm what we would call in the United Kingdom East African Asian regarding my ethnicity. But regardless,
He's a
I have what we
terrorist.
call.
That's
Regardless, I'm British, mate. I'm still British as the Greek
Yeah.
guy alongside me of Greek ancestry with Greek parents. We are both Brits.
And we have both been victims of imperial powers. What our family
Yes.
was. So
I find
I'm
really
Greek.
strange when I see Americans,
he's
white Americans especially,
simple.
when I see white Americans complain about foreigners coming into other countries like the United Kingdom, when I'm thinking to myself, mate, you are not ethnically from America, so shut the fuck up. Would you like mass immigration into India? What do you mean by that? Would you like
People mass
immigration?
migrate into India.
Well, from
don't
here.
care.
I mean, people do immigrate to India, by the way. I mean, I don't understand.
Oh, are you watching Beast? Are you watching from my channel, from the Ginger Greek channel? I thought you would come from NerdTube. Either way, hello. Would you hate Greece being filled with Turks? Don't bother me, mate. As long as they fucking, work. There's plenty of Greeks over in Turkey as well.
Yeah, Americans.
At the end of the day,
Americans are not all Europeans. The black ones ain't, mate. And what about people from the Far East? They're not,
Yeah,
and
Greece also, again, because of the actions of the Americans and the Israelis, we ended up with a lot of refugees. And guess what? Even in Greece, they're weaponizing that. They're using the same bloody tactics to say, oh, look at all these Bangladeshis and all these Syrians coming over to our country. They're dickhead devs and all this kind of shit. But the Greeks are like, shut the fuck up. You've literally just cucked to Israel. You sold this entire government to bloody Israel. You're selling land to Zionists. And you think we're going to worry about Johnny Brown fucking coming over, who's in the same boat as us? And not many people are coming over to Greece. You know why? Because of Greece, its population has shrunk by 1 million since the financial crisis. Do you know why? Because the EU fucked us. Our own corruption got us there, but austerity and Deutsche Bank, so fuck Germany, by the way, has completely destroyed Greece, has left it into a husk. So even the migrants that we're getting over, they're not that many, and they came over to replenish the lost population because one, Greeks aren't breeding anymore, and two, they've left the fucking country. So whose fault is that? Is that the immigrants' fault, or is that your country's fault? It's your fucking country's fault because you're blowing up and you're ruining everything.
all right, I think it's about time
I
we
would
do some
agree.
TikTok
Neither are English. Ethnically, we're not English, but our nationality is English.
Well,
British.
I'll say this, mate. If me and Ginger were world-class footballers, we would be able to play for the England football team. If we were great cricketers, we could play for the England cricket team. We could represent this country in various ways if we were good at a particular thing. So in that way, we are English, British, whatever you want to call us. And my passport says I'm fucking British.
Yeah. And before we move on, because we do want to move on, let's just say this. Me and Zam are a unique kettle of fish within our cultures for two things. Number one, being non-religious. Number two, being very Anglified in everything that we consume and do. Like, you've got to understand. So I'll speak for my own. In Greek culture, there's that expectation of the church thing, the being deeply religious, not fundamentalist religion, because how Greek Orthodoxy works is I'll go to church at Easter and at the odd name day, just God stay the fuck away from me. That's how the Greek attitude is. But in terms of the music, the culture, the kind of attitude of being, like I am very much Anglified, even in my sense of humor. Like if I turn around and call Zam a terrorist, he's gonna laugh because that's banter. If I turn around and call my Greek friend, your Greek's gay, he'll be like, motherfucker, how could you do that? You disrespect my entire family. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill your whole family tree. Like that. So you got to understand the humor, the banter, our mannerisms, everything that we've adopted is very Anglified. Because that's what we grew up in, and that's what we love. It's as simple as that.
This guy, like, it makes no sense. You shouldn't be able to play for England. I mean, he meant England, but we just continue what I said earlier. Like Saka, not English whatsoever. And he's also saying the same thing about Haaland.
Yeah,
Haaland shouldn't be able to play for Norway, even though his dad's Norwegian and he was brought up in Norway. Yeah, he was born in Leeds. Everyone knows that.
Leeds
I don't think it's gutting that he didn't play for England, but we have these rules and regulations where you're able to play for a particular country through your ancestry, through up to your grandparents.
Yeah,
so,
up to your grandparents, exactly. So Haaland, if he wanted it, he could play for England because he was born here.
So why does America have no Native Americans on their team? Why are there no Aborigines for the Australian team? Why are there no Maoris for the New Zealand team? And same goes for the Canadian team. No natives, Canadians or native North Americans, basically, for that team as well. Like, no one gives a shit about that. All of a sudden, French people have got a load of black players in their team. All of a sudden, that's a problem, even though those black players made them win the World Cup.
Sorry, just on this. Yeah, exactly. But Haaland, what do you mean? Haaland shouldn't be able to play for England. Well, why? If he was born here, of course he can. That's his choice. He chose to play for Norway. That's his choice. Anyway, we're moving on now. Andrew Tate.
TikTok treasures.
Oh, TikTok treasures. All right, let me
hit the button.
Let me hit that button.
Sam's TikTok treasures, right-wing buffoonery, political pleasures, a funny video for you and me, another guy in a red hat, ranting at his screen, talking nonsense, what is that? The funniest thing I've seen. Sam's TikTok treasures, right-wing buffoonery, political pleasures, funny video for you and me.
I'm sorry, this guy, look, he's making an excuse. Saka can't play for England, but America's could have native for sure. But ultimately, they were colonized, so it's different. You know what? We know what England's fucking colonized, mate. You know what I mean? England colonized by fucking all the Norwegians and fucking all types of shit. What the fuck are you talking about? A dog born in an aquarium is not a fish. No, I mean, well, why are these?
That's a special thing. That's a special thing. Like a black man born in England is still a human being. It's a species. It's an ape. Simians. We're all apes. All of us. For fuck's sake. A dog born in an aquarium is not a fish because it's a different species. A human
fat list of TikTokies.
Mermaid, are they? Jesus.
All right, let's start off with a little bit of fun. Here's a parrot that says "Free Palestine."
Free Palestine. Free Palestine.
Isn't that cute?
Palestine.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
Free Palestine.
Say it. Free Palestine. Say it. Free Palestine. Come on, say it.
Free
All right,
Palestine.
fine. All right.
Free Palestine.
It's the Matrix your butt plug beast. Just asking for a friend. You know what I mean? But no, of course there's no hard feelings. I might shout or whatever, but I enjoy the discourse.
Here's something we can enjoy: the police catching a criminal. This is pretty cool, by the way.
Stay where you are!
A police chase in Margate took an unexpected turn.
Running down the hill towards the viaduct.
Responding to a serious assault, armed police are starting to lose track of their suspect until...
Get it back. Go. I'm going. Go. Cheers, buddy. Follow that police officer. Don't crash. You just go past him. Keep going past.
There's a copper. Keep
going past.
There's the assault.
Keep going past. Keep going. Right.
Make sure you go
Stop here on the right. Stop.
got a machine gun on them. This
Stop
collocated
there!
back to
Don't move!
With the help of a conveniently placed man in his van, the suspect was arrested.
Cheers for your help.
No problem. I'm glad I could be of service.
Thanks very much for your assistance.
That was quite exhilarating.
See you later. Hope the rest of your day is a bit calmer.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.
And I just want to add, by the way,
Absolutely.
that nobody got shot. I'm looking at you, America. All right. And talking about America,
the woman in
This
this
is a
video
pregnant
told
woman, by
police
the
she was
way.
9 months pregnant when Buckeye officer Carrie Carrico arrested her for reckless driving. Surveillance video shows Carrico pushing that woman against the wall
God.
and then dragging her back to a bench.
She gets me to sit down and she just hits me.
Surveillance video shows Carrico's arm swinging towards that woman's head. Internal reports say Carrico didn't document that use of force in her initial police report. Carrico's supervising sergeant later said her actions were, quote, very aggressive and described them as, quote, definitely over the top and unnecessary. This is Carrico's take when interviewed by investigators.
And in this moment, I think the only thing that I did was revert to my training.
2 months later, January of this year, Carrico was involved in a second incident.
Do not headbutt me, you piece of
An arrestee headbutting.
All right, enough of that. But I'm just saying that woman, she looked racist. Just look at her. You know what I mean? Anyway.
Are you saying all white people are racist? Damn you, racist.
Well, anyway, check this out.
These are the 3 most homophobic movies ever made.
Then you'll be persecuted by the radical militant gays.
So in honor of Pride Month, let's laugh at them.
Those wild things, or whatever you want to call them, are they going to be around here strutting their stuff for this gay pride?
Yeah.
Number 3, the accidental activist. After signing an anti-gay marriage petition, Ted and his family's life gets turned upside down after his entire town decides to boycott him and his family's t-shirt shop. The film does its very best to try to get you to sympathize with Ted and his family of bigots, like when his store is vandalized by an angry gay mob of protesters, but my favorite moment has to be when a black woman explains to Ted what slavery was.
And black men, and sometimes even the women and children, were forced to work for nothing.
I've never heard of that before.
Number 2, audacity. This one follows the typical formula of a bigot named Peter trying to convince his friend that homosexuality is wrong, but the funniest thing about this is that he only comes to this conclusion after he has a dream about a gay couple trapped in an elevator falling to their death. He can't save the people in the elevator, and I guess that's a metaphor for being gay. Which floor are you guys going to? Oh, that's right, you're going to the hell floor. Number 1, right to believe. This is the absolute worst one on the list, but don't let that stop you from hate watching this film because it is hilarious and written by Donald James Parker. In this one, we follow a journalist named Tony who is forced to write a story about a gay pride parade as punishment from his boss.
No, I'm not going to write it. I don't believe in homosexuality.
The entire movie is long conversations with Tony and a gay man trying to convince him that homosexuality is wrong, but please, if you watch any of these movies, let it be this one, because the quotes are immaculate.
Someday it's going to be against the law to say that homosexuality is a sin.
These are the 3...
By the way, Beast guy, those films are for you.
Don't pick another video yet. Just 1 second. You two should do a series reviewing straight to streaming Christian movies. Oh boy, oh my god. I think.
Oh, we're gonna do one, by the way. What was that one we were planning on watching?
Oh yes, the Ben Shapiro company one.
Yeah, the Ben Shapiro's doing one. We're gonna watch that and review that.
Infidel.
The one with what's his face? Kang the Conqueror. What's the name of the actor?
Yeah. Oh,
Jonathan Majors.
Jonathan Majors. Yeah, we will be doing a review of that. We are going to watch that, Alex. So just keep an eye on the channel. It will be its own video. It won't be a live thing.
Make sure you're with NerdTube, by the way. He's not on the other ones. Anyway,
I don't know if you're on NerdTube or Ginger Greek, but either way, subscribe to NerdTube.
Anyway, famous actors that fell off hard.
5 actors that fell off so hard that only Christian movies will cast them. This list comprises of the worst offenders that appear in almost every single Christian movie I review. Offender 1, Kevin Sorbo. From the mid-90s to the early 2000s, Hercules The Legendary Journeys made Kevin Sorbo an international star.
I have to quickly pause for a second, yeah? Kevin Sorbo complained about the movie Odyssey having a black Helena Troy. But in Hercules: A Legendary Journey, Helena Troy was also black.
Today, he only appears in Herculean pieces of like God's Not Dead.
Life is really a tale told by an idiot.
Or whatever movie Dean Cain is starring in. Offender 2, Dean Cain. In 1993, Cain landed the role of Superman in the TV series Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. Unfortunately, the only thing super about Cain these days is the diarrhea that his movies give me after I watch one of his alt-right conservative propaganda films. Offender 3, Cuba Gooding Jr. When's the last time you saw a good Cuba Gooding Jr. movie? It's been forever, right? That's because he's too busy palling around with David A.R. White in the movie A Line of Fire, and also doing interviews next to Kevin Sorbo for this trash. Offender 4, Tom Sizemore. After appearing in some great movies like Black Hawk Down and Saving Private Ryan, the only thing that Tom Sizemore is saving these days is his soul by appearing in a bunch of low-budget Christian movies like Suing the Devil.
The wimp is blaming everybody but himself. It's pathetic. It's pitiful. Look at that. Well said.
Speaking of Suing the Devil, Offender 5, Malcolm McDowell, starring in one of the...
Pause it. Okay, firstly, Tom fucking Sizemore, you know, it's nothing like his politics were never aligned in one way or another. He was just a fuckhead. He was a druggie, a smackhead. So he was taking whatever job was available. So I don't agree with him being put in that. Just because he's...
I have no idea.
This guy's a fucking idiot because it's just like, oh, person this appeared in a Christian film, therefore that. It's just like, well, Tom Sizemore, Malcolm McDowell will appear in anything. He doesn't care. You know what I mean? And he was one of the people at the forefront of the kind of bohemian movement of the 60s. He was literally one of the faces of it.
Yeah, but Malcolm McDowell is legend status. The guy shouldn't be in any old shit. You know, he should be given scripts for fucking top films. You know, I'm surprised. Anyway, let's
move on. Next video. This guy pissed me off now because he lumped in two legends. You just reminded me to subscribe. Good lad. Everyone else watching.
So I am downtown heading to Trump's little state fair thingamajiggy. Of course, they already screwed up. The damn thing was supposed to be at 12th Street. It's not. They send you to 12th Street on the map, and now they're making me walk 3 or 4 blocks to get to the entrance because they've got enough security here to be like it's the airport or the White House or something. Well, that took forever. I had to walk like 4 or 5 blocks to get to the stupid entrance. You'll see not exactly big lines here today. Not exactly any lines here today. But let's see what happens next. Okay, I'm finally inside this crazy thing after walking blocks and blocks and blocks. There's the Ferris wheel, although huge line there. Kind of weird, kind of empty. There's his freaking arch. He's got a lot of like neoclassical fake stuff along the sides that we're going to visit. There's the Congress. Behind me is the Washington Monument. Oops. Hello. Sure. Now we're going to go look at this freaking ugly as fuck arch. I mean, honestly, the top stuff looks like the guys from World War II Germany built it. Nasty stuff. Okay, so there we go. Oh my God. I mean, that is the most hideous stuff. It's like from Game of Thrones, the stuff on top. It's total Game of Thrones. This bizarro, look at this crap. How tacky. At the very least, we're bulldozing this stuff off when he leaves. Honestly, the arch overall may just have to be taken down. Really ugly stuff. Now, what I just figured out is these are the various states that are inside these little fake neoclassical things, and then the Congress in the background. So let's take a look. So here we are in North Carolina. They've got a race car. I'm not terribly impressed with my native DC. There's like a fake cherry blossom and then a wall you can sign. Virginia, it's a sign that says love made of corn, apple, utensils, and peanuts.
He's nuts.
Then there's a rodeo tent. No rodeo going on yet, although very pretty dog in the background, but that's about it. Then here's my Illinois tent. Again, a little weird. There's corn. The kids are playing with corn and Legos of some kind, and I'm not quite sure why that's Illinois, but what the hell. So far, these states are very, very boring. I'm going to now go over to Alaska and see what they've got because I spent a lot of time in Alaska. If Alaska's boring, I'm going to be very disappointed because how could Alaska be boring? Not a ton of people here either, by the way. You can see the crowds, the wild crowds. It's a cast of thousands. Not. And for some reason, nobody can figure out there's a line for Arizona. Only Arizona. Nobody else. But Arizona, there's a line.
Is that because there's
So
prostitutes?
this is very
in there?
sad. Alaska and Hawaii have nothing.
Alaska and
I'm
Hawaii.
not quite sure why. Hawaii, Democratic state. Alaska, Republican state. There's nothing here. Very weird. All right, so this is the food court.
Right, I think we've seen this enough of this. You know what this reminds me of? There was this Harry Potter exhibit. So it's saying
No, the Willy Wonka one in Glasgow.
Willy Wonka, yeah, Willy Wonka, yeah, that was it. It reminds me of that. Fucking bullshit,
Yeah.
man.
That's brilliant.
Now we saw the Lukaku one. I showed you guys that the other day. You want to see it again?
Yeah, we saw that.
You want to see it again?
Have I just seen Lukaku? Imagine having a goal disallowed because of this. I don't know if this is a blessing or a curse. Like, this might be the first time this has happened. Imagine in a World Cup final, you make a run and you're through one-on-one with the keeper. You score the goal, but then it goes to VAR and they show that your bulge is offside. Oh my days. Oh, that might be the craziest football event ever.
Well, if it had to be anyone, Lukaku would be it. Let's check this out.
This is a message for Satan.
We are the missionaries.
For the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And we're going to convert all of your followers. We'll knock every door. Until the whole world gets baptized.
I honestly thought this was satire, and it's not. It's a legit Mormon account. Oh boy, every person. You three. Good luck with that. Might struggle at my house. I'll be honest with you. And quite a few of my friends.
Pages.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah.
To be young and in a cult again. Look, you honestly brought up with that mindset that the world's out to get you.
Yeah, enough of that. But yeah, it makes you wonder why we're not religious.
Yeah, can't think why.
I'm going to ask you to leave.
This one's boring. Let's move that.
Oh no, we saw that one last time.
MAGA is saying that the white nationalists marching on Washington, D.C. today were federal agents. They're not condemning it. They're saying they were feds, or saying that they were Democrats in disguise. That's all that they're saying. Fox News hasn't made remarks on it. The president hasn't said anything. But here's Benny Johnson saying that this black woman must, quote, feel extremely safe surrounded by dozens of federal agents. Here's Laura Ingraham saying, I call fake. No one should be allowed to cover their faces. I agree with Laura that no one should be allowed to cover their faces, and yet these white nationalists are. Here's the editor of the Daily Caller, a right-wing newspaper, quote, it's probably 75% SPLC, referring to the Southern Poverty Law Center, and 25% feds. Mind you, if these are federal agents, which there's no evidence that they are, they're white nationalists, but that would mean that Kash Patel and Donald Trump's FBI agents are dressed up as white nationalists. So I'm not sure that the logic fully works for them on that front. But just so you know, not a single condemnation, just
and they're riding a bus.
Follow for more.
Feds don't ride a bus.
It's funny. No, but it depends on who you are. Like 1 minute you're, it depends. Right wingers are saying, "Oh, look, they look at this woman's feeling safe because she's surrounded by white nationalists in this bus. She must feel really safe." And then from commending them, you got Laura Ingraham condemning them by saying, "Oh, these guys are probably Antifa dressed up as white nationalists or whatever." Yeah, we saw this one here. We saw this one last time, and we saw this one the other day as well. Let's try this one.
4 minutes, 106 shots,
Rupert
16
Lowe.
People killed.
Probably know they banned handguns
the 90s, right?
In the late 90s because there was a murder up in Dunblane.
One murder.
Tina's Rupert Lowe wants to sugarcoat what happened that day.
Sorry?
I said, Shane, I'm still watching Scarlett Takes a Tumble video. That video, my God, that should be what, 2009 I made that video, 2008 I made that video, and it's my most watched video. It's like 700,000 views, and it's just a chick that pulls off a table. It's so funny.
4
Thanks
minutes.
for watching that, Shane.
Rupert Lowe said one murder, and for that one murder, we lost our rights to handguns in Great Britain because in Northern Ireland you can still get a handgun. But the rest of Great Britain, you can't. And it wasn't one murder. It was 16 murders, 106 shots, 32 injured as well. That's why we got rid of that. And you know what? We're better off for it as well here in the United Kingdom, because we're not the United States where that shit happens on a regular basis. That it doesn't even make the news anymore.
Yeah, when that happened, I was still in school when Dunblane happened, and overnight they literally put up massive security fences around, because from where I used to walk to school, you could just walk through the park and open the little back gate. That all got cordoned off after Dunblane, and all this kind of like extra heightened security was taken. Literally banned handguns overnight, and you can still get a gun in this country. You can get a fucking hunting rifle. But
You
again,
can get shotguns and rifles, yeah.
Like, and the thing is, like, people that support Restore will look at that and be like, "Yeah, he's right. Can't believe one fucking murder." And oh, guess what? We haven't had any mass shootings since then. And secondly, what a complete fucking sociopath to just blase 16 killed kids being murdered as just like a one thing. Like, this is how I mean. These people are just complete sociopaths.
Yep.
No matter what happened,
I'll make
you
this the
have
last
to
one.
let them use their best players.
Okay.
And the game tonight's going to be amazing, and we're going to have a full team, and Belgium's going to have a full team. And you know what? If they beat us, then they can be really proud. The other way, if they beat us, we'll say I say it was rigged, just like the election was rigged in 2020.
He goes straight to
I won't
it.
get into that. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. The Trump accounts are great. Thank you.
These people tell you what that person is. That, you know, if they beat us, it's rigged, you know, because that's his default. You know, everything.
Yeah, which is exactly what he said for 2020.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, so but look. Sorry, James. 2 more. Yeah, and these are good ones. Okay,
fine. That's fine. I'm not
Family reform isn't a cult.
Amazing, and there's no one to touch you.
Thank
No
you.
matter
Really?
no matter what they do, Nigel, don't let us down.
Don't let us down.
Well, let's down, Nigel.
I will. Thank you, guys. Family reform isn't.
For a start, he probably hates these people, and no different to Donald Trump hating his own supporters.
100%.
And these dickheads, are not realizing that they're thanking and loving a guy who wants to get rid of the very NHS that these motherfuckers rely upon. Finally, I've always said regarding young, I've always said that young people are a lot smarter and a lot more shit than people give them credit for. As we get older, we sometimes look down upon younger people because we think they don't know fuck all, but they do, man. And it's never one thing as we get older is don't underestimate young people. Check this out.
Nigel Farage just done nothing for collecting years. It's just got worse and worse. Like, he's got millions and millions. He's got millions and millions, yeah, but it just like don't work. Like, he don't do nothing. Like, he's just airing out collecting. He's coming here for like a day, yeah, or a week, doing nothing. He's abandoning his his office next to the arcades. He's just a waste. Like, he's a wanker. That's what he is. He's done nothing at all. Nothing.
What do you make of his policies on?
Well, he's a racist He's racist. That's what he is. He's a racist.
What makes you say he's racist?
Because he is, though. Like, he makes people racist. That's all I'm saying. He's a grey-haired bastard. That's what he is.
And see?
Oh, that legend. Sorry, I didn't realise my camera was off. I knocked it out.
There we go.
That was brilliant.
For the sake of yourself, I've got a lot more to give. That is my TikTok.
Thank you, Zan. That was awesome. Some fucking gems there. Okay, so Andrew Tate next on the list. He's been arrested in Miami. He's arrested in Miami, bitch. Anyway, that's enough of that.
Oh, by the way, sorry. As we're going on Andrew Tate, I do have one TikTok on Andrew Tate, which could lead us on to that.
Oh, that's fine.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, that's fine. It's on the subject.
Okay, let me just put it up. It's a good one because that motherfucker is one arrogant wank stain. Yeah, and he deserves this.
Well, you want to play these games? I'm right here in Miami. Come get me, arrest me, perp walk me, put me on the news, tell everyone I'm a human trafficker. You think I'm not versed? You think I'm not ready? I'm a Navy SEAL in this shit. come get me. Raid my house. Take my stuff. You think I sleep with a phone full of evidence? You think I don't wipe my phone every night? You think I'm dumb? Come get me. Arrest me. Let's do this all over again. Well, you want to play these games? I'm right here in Miami. I'm right here in Miami.
That's perfect.
I don't wipe my phone every night. I mean, that's guilt right there in its own sense, in my opinion. Why do you need to wipe your phone every night, sir?
I think what I might do is next time we start the stream, just going to play that video, and because it's perfect. I'm right here in Miami. Yes, you are, and you got arrested because you're a fucking nonce, a rapist, a sex trafficker, and everything under the sun. You big piece of shit. So he's been arrested because there's been more evidence that have come to light, more accusations about him. Basically, R-wording women, trafficking. Sorry, apologies, burping because I'm drinking. And also, CSAM as well, which is, kitty prawn. For fuck's sake, I have to mince my words. By the way, I did a video on this on TikTok. TikTok wouldn't publish it. They got rid of all my hashtags and they buried the video. It was up for 3 hours. It had 0 views. So I deleted it. But between the two brothers, they have 56 or 59 charges. I think it's 59 charges. 46 of those charges are Andrew Tate alone on the things I talked about earlier, and the other 12 are his brother. 13 are his brother. Between two people. That's insane. That's insane. If you say like one or two things, then you could deny it. But 56 charges of all the stuff I mentioned, that's crazy. Secondly, a load of video has come to light on Twitter of him beating his girlfriends and being like real nasty about it, and also openly bragging about sleeping with underage girls and all this kind of crap. Now, on that note, I really, 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 really wish that he would.
Sorry, read that.
As a gay man, whenever I see Andrew and Tristan Tate pictured together, I always think they look like Miami gay power couple who sell scam shares to Mate, Alex, you're just absolutely
MVP, man. Fucking MVP.
You are MVP. I hope you come to all our political streams. This has been great. Yeah, I really wish he was being extradited to Romania to face jail there, because my issue is that if he gets extradited to Britain, our justice system, not that Romania is any better, but our justice system when it comes to dealing with pedos and rapists is not very good. Like, you got to understand, if you're found guilty of the R word, your sentence could range anything between 4 and 20 years. Do you know how often people even get 4 years? It's so rare. They'll get like sentenced to 4 years and they'll be out in 2.5 years for destroying a person's life. Now, I have two friends who were R-worded, and I've seen what it did to their lives. I didn't know them when it happened. I knew them after it happened, but it's destroyed their lives. And the person that did it goes to jail for a little bit, comes out, carries on as normal, whatever, possibly do it again, which is often the case. Now, I don't know how. I think he has between 7 and 10 charges of rape. Now, if they can get 4 years on each one of those, that's great. That's a long ass sentence.
He's got charges for so many things, though. But Ginge, unlike other people, he has got there's so much evidence that points towards him. Like, I mean, the guy is on camera, basically incriminating himself. Talking about how he does all these scams and everything. He's confessed himself. That should be used against him when it comes to throwing the book at him. I think I'm hoping, considering, I mean, theoretically, if you've got this much evidence against you, that's it. It's a done deal. You can't run away from it.
But again, we're talking about the British justice system.
Yeah, I agree.
If it was America, yeah, I would be in the suspicion that he'll go down for a long time, regardless.
Now, he has, funnily enough, he has loads of fans, right wing fans, Elon Musk type fans, and Donald Trump fans. They fucking love Andrew Tate, even though he does all of this shit. But these are the same dickheads who have the audacity to complain about so-called Muslim rape gangs and shit like that. And so they're complaining about all these Muslims committing crimes and stuff. But you know what? I'm gonna look in the camera for this one. Andrew Tate is a fucking Muslim. So rejoice, motherfuckers. You got one. Or two, including Tristan as well.
I don't know if Tristan converted to Islam. Because they converted to it to kind of use it as a shield. They weren't originally Muslims.
Yeah, but they're not rejoicing though. The funny thing is that you tell them that Andrew Tate's a Muslim, and I conveniently forgot. Well, he's one of the good ones, I guess. One of the good ones and being one of the bad ones. It's ironic, isn't it? It's like it's crazy.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, you're 100% right. And I want to remind people as well that young Greek men were out in the streets protesting when he was originally arrested in Romania. They were protesting Free Top G.
Free Top G, I remember.
I have a video on it on my channel. I think it's still there
dickheads.
Anyway. But how fucking ridiculous that is. Sorry, I'm looking over because I could smell something burning. I don't think it's coming from mine. Again. You're going to understand, 4 years ago, my shed burnt down because we had 40-degree heat in this country. So I'm very paranoid, but I can smell something. But I think it smells like coal. So maybe
But by the way, Daniel Vaz, I agree. Look, I look at somebody like Andrew
right
Tate.
I'm just going to check everything. Sorry, guys.
They're fine. I look at Andrew Tate as the modern day Epstein, I may add. I'll be shocked if the Trumps decide to get involved in this because it's just so like Andrew Tate, like he's got so much shit against him, and it's come back to haunt him. There's so many accusations on him, and does Donald Trump really need this shit? I mean, Donald Trump is a lot of people already know that Donald Trump's a pedophile, a rapist, con man anyway. But does he need people to remind? Does he need to remind people of that by basically saving the Tate brothers? Because that's what he's doing. The Epstein class. That's what's going to happen. I've always said that
Trump said he's not going to intervene, but his word is not really his bond. And just to update on the smell, it's definitely somebody barbecuing because I leant my head out the window and the waft of kind of chicken.
Yeah,
hit me.
I did a barbecue earlier, by the way. Anyway, I've always said that the right wing hates Islam because they're jealous that they can't get away with all the crimes they pretend Muslims commit. More projection. I think actually to a degree, but I think also they just look at Muslims as primitive people, dude. I think they do that as well. My birds are eating my camera. Get away from my camera. You fat chonk. You fat little fatty, fat.
Yeah, that's enough about me. What about the bird?
Yeah, I think that is a significant thing, by the way. They like to say, oh, look, we're more sophisticated. Look at these guys. They live in mud huts and all of that sort of stuff. Not realizing so much science, technology, came from places like Baghdad from, years ago.
If it wasn't for the Muslims, a lot of Greek discoveries and sciences and all that crap would have been lost. Because when the Christians were slaughtering the Greeks, they fled to the kind of Middle East. It wasn't Islamified at that point in time, but they fled to places like Baghdad and all this kind of stuff. And a lot of their stuff was able to be preserved from the fucking Christians, as well as creating, their own amazing world of like science and literature and all that. I don't want to just say, oh, it's because of the Greeks that the Muslims got that. What I'm saying is, on top of creating their own amazing stuff, they preserved our stuff as well. And it's not just that as well. If you take away the fundamentalists and you just look at the Christian versus Islam in terms of the social aspect of it, like every mosque in my area, every mosque has free breakfasts for people that need it. Every mosque will happily house somebody within their facilities and make sure that they've found them a place to kind of stay. It's within their pillars. It's what they have to do. A lot of the churches here don't do that. A lot of them are either closed or just don't care or just offer the most basic shit. You know, and with the Muslims, there is no like expectation of anything. It's just like, oh, you're someone in need, we'll take you in. My neighbor, who is you know, he's quite a devout Muslim and has the most beautiful voice, by the way, because when he took us to this kind of Islamic center not far from where I live, and he sung the call to prayer, and his voice was fucking amazing. But beautiful. I've got it on video. I've got it on video. It's really amazing. But you know, he just invited us to this thing, and all the Muslims, you know, they just fed us. They give us everything, you know, we wanted and all this kind of shit. Very hospitable, very nice, very thing. They were calling people from the streets. They didn't give a shit who they were. Just call, come, free food, come have kebab and all this kind of shit. And fuck me, it was a nice kebab as well. And all this kind of shit. I don't see churches doing that. I'm Greek, all right? We're Greek Orthodox. I don't see the Greek churches doing that. They just offer like a food bank, and that's about it.
You saw that a few months ago, that lady, she did that experiment where she wanted to find baby formula, and she was ringing up all the churches, and no one gave her baby formula. Then she finally rang up a mosque, and they went out of her way not to only give her baby formula, but they fucking delivered it to her as well. You know, she mentioned that she had no money for it. Fine, they'll pay for it themselves. They'll buy it themselves. They'll give it to her. The mosque did that in America. Yeah, but every other church, they couldn't do shit for you. You know what I mean? And these are the things that, you know, you're supposed to rely upon. You know, like, you know, people go on about your church services and stuff like that. They help the community. No, in America, churches are just a way of making money. You know, and as much as I despise religion, Islam including, you know, I give them credit for what they did there. You know, they are behaving like a true religious community. And communities are always about, in my opinion, religious communities are not about taking, it's about giving back. You know, which is why I like people like James Tallarico, for instance. I want him to win the Texas Senate, because if there's going to be a Christian person who's going to win it, he's the fucking ideal one.
Yeah, you want the good ones to fucking be winning.
The ones who follow the religion the right way, when it comes to the socialist way, I may add. You know, the ones that are about, you know, feeding the poor, helping the sick.
Sorry.
You know, all of that shit.
Yeah.
Helping the sick, you know,
100%.
and all of that sort of stuff.
100%.
James Tallarico, in my opinion, is like, he's the most ideal Christian I've ever known come across in my entire life. If more Christians were like him, the world would be a better place.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. I was going to do WWE radio, but I can't be fucking asked. Let's go into the Odyssey, because we're on a kind of.
Have you seen the Odyssey?
No, I'm not going to watch it. I don't give a shit about the bloody Christopher Nolan films. I'll be bored out of my fucking brains. But anyway,
I'm looking forward to seeing it. But yeah, let's talk about it. I haven't seen it myself.
So I think I'm in the right position to kind of talk about the Odyssey, and I do actually have a lot to say. Some of it is obvious, and some of it is like, but I must forewarn you, I might use offensive terminology, but you gotta.
You're Greek, you can get away with it.
No, it's not that. I'm coming at it from a non-American perspective and how I view how they tackle issues surrounding culture and race and all this kind of stuff. But before we get into it, obviously, the Odyssey caused a huge stir because of its casting choices. And let's be perfectly frank, the right were triggered because black was in it and trans was in it.
Can I quickly add something?
Yes, please do, because I want to quickly check something while you do.
Good. See, people go on about history all the time and go, "Oh, would you put, like, I don't know, Meryl Streep as Rosa Parks in the movie?" But that's historically accurate. You know what Odyssey is? is Greek mythology. And you know what Greek mythology is? Fiction. It's not fucking real. It's fairy tales. It's Greek fairy tales, basically. It's the Brothers Grimm of fucking Greece. You know what I mean?
To me, damn it. Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's bullshit. Helena Troy, the fucking Greek gods, all of this shit, Achilles, you know, all this bollocks. It's fucking bollocks. It's bullshit. It's not real. And people are complaining about history. How can you have history when it comes to fucking fiction? It's not real. So if Helena Troy wants to be fucking black, like she was in Hercules: A Legendary Journey, then so be it. It don't make a fucking difference. Is she supposed to be the most beautiful person in the world, and you don't find her attractive? Well, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, motherfucker. So fuck you. It doesn't fucking matter.
So,
but regardless, people complaining about historical inaccuracy need to shut the fuck up when it comes to fiction. It's not fucking real.
But also, if they're talking about historical accuracy, not a single Greek person is in that fucking film. Not a single Greek person, especially in a prominent role. So, ergo's the historical accuracy. Secondly, and there is a two-pronged issue with this one, but we'll focus on the right-wing version of it first. White people in film, because Greeks, white, ergo, okay. Hang on a second. Up until the 1930s, you didn't classify us as white. You classified us as scum, garbage, non-white. You see, the concept of whiteness changes over time, and the concept of race is, again, an American construct, albeit through the British colonial powers at the time, because of the unification of indentured servitude and slaves, who found common ground in that they were, I wouldn't even call them working class, they were fucking serfs, slave class, united in their struggle against the rich landowners. And of course, certain privileges were put upon white indentured servers so that they can have that slight elevation above black slaves to create that kind of division. And that's what it's escalated ever since then. Okay, Greeks never used to fall into the category of white, firstly. So you don't care about that, though. If you're talking about historical accuracy, you as a right wing, you don't care. You're just pissed off because a black person's in a film set in Europe. That's it.
A trans person's in the movie,
and a trans person's in it as well.
Who you initially thought was Achilles, but wasn't Achilles. So you're wrong about that. And if they were Achilles, who gives a fuck? Another thing is, oh no, it's escaping my memory. Oh no, it's gone. It's gone.
Oh, when you come back to it, that's fine. But oh god, it also
sorry, Nerdrotic, that dickhead.
Oh, is he still around?
Yeah, he's still around. Like I saw somebody making fun of his video, but he did a video prior to Odyssey coming out, and because films like He-Man flopped and Supergirl flopped, these guys initially thought, okay, we're gonna guarantee this thing's coming freeze here. This is gonna flop as well because of the elements they thought that was woke about this movie. So they believed the film was gonna flop before it even fucking came out. Ended up being a huge hit, but still he complained about the movie after it was a hit, and constantly referred to John Leguizamo, who's in this movie, as the Colombian John Leguizamo. But when it came to the other actors who are white, like Matt Damon's in this film, John Berthenthal's in this movie, Tom Holland's in this movie, their race and them not being remotely Greek doesn't mean shit. But somehow a Colombian being in this film, who might be of Greek origin, you never know. Somehow him being Colombian's an issue. It's so fucking stupid, man.
It's ridiculous. And John Leguizamo, of all the fucking people that are in this film, probably could possibly have closer ties to Greece than the Anglos, because the one thing you need to understand as well is southern parts of Spain were colonized by the Greeks around that fucking era as well, by the way, because we had colonies, all over the bloody place. Like Marseille was a Greek colony before any French settled there. Barcelona was also, but the term Barcelona comes from the Greek word land of boats, which is varka. Okay, varka is a Greek word for boat. I think it's a Greek word. Yeah, it should be. I mean, I know it is what it is in Greek, but that's where it gets its name from. So we had prominent settlements in Italy, in France, in Spain, and all this kind of shit. So there is a very small chance that John Leguizamo ethnically could be more closer tied to Greek. Of course, it's albeit very small because he probably has kind of Mayan ancestry and all that. You can tell in his appearance. But compared to, say, Robert Pattinson, that's more likely. You know what I mean? The irony
Robert Pattinson's in the movie as well. Yeah.
Yeah. The irony is, if you were to put the guy that played He-Man in the Odyssey, he's actually Greek. So, you know, he's half Greek, half Russian, the guy that plays He-Man.
Okay.
And so it would have been fine to actually have him in the film, because then you've got your little blonde-haired, doe-eyed white boy that you so masterfully fawn over. But anyway, the point is, if you don't give a shit about the fact that no Greek person has been cast in the film, or at least in a prominent role, but you give a shit about black and trans being in it, your argument is moot, because you don't care about the historical accuracy. And there's a big difference of how Greeks look. Okay, I don't look Greek, but you know, if you look at my dad looks as Greek as fuck. Okay, and well, doesn't look like anything now. He was cremated, but that's not the point. When he was alive, he looked Greek as fuck. And so the point is, you don't care about that. So therefore, why the fuck do you care about Helen of Troy? And
but basically, this is a retaliation to the movie Gods of Egypt, which when that came out, you know, everyone who was supposed to be Middle Eastern was white. And then prior to that, you know, when it comes to films of the Middle East, everyone is a white guy playing a Middle Eastern person with a British accent. You know, as well, I may add. And that's how Middle Eastern movies were portrayed for decades. You know, white people playing Middle Easterners with British fucking accents. And finally, I think some people thought, you know, we've had enough of this shit. We would like maybe a bit more accuracy. And so now, unfortunately, the people on the right are taking it to an extreme now where, when it comes to... but they're taking it to extreme now that they want accuracy in their in fictional adaptations as well, which is fucking stupid, you know, because like I said, Greek mythology. And by the way, you know, African people and Greece, they are, it's not like fucking Africa is a million miles away. You know, the Mediterranean Sea is the only thing that splits you guys apart. African people were in Greece all the fucking time. You know, they had that connection.
Yeah. And we had connections with...
Queen of Egypt was fucking, what's her face? You know,
Cleopatra was Greek.
Yeah, it was Greek.
Yeah, but that's not even it. Like, again, we also had close trading ties with Nubia, the kingdom of Nubia, they were black. They are black, still black. That hasn't fucking changed. But yeah, you know, our ties are very close to. We've got more in fucking common with the Africans than we do with the fucking Anglos and the Germanics. Okay, let's put it that way. But the flip side of it is also the hypocrisy from our side of the spectrum, because all of a sudden they don't care about historical accuracy. All of a sudden, because again, the whole thing with Gods of Egypt and all that, they were the ones crying about the casting, which is a fiction. But now that it's flipped, they're saying, oh, forget about it. Aladdin, another prime example. My God, they had a fucking meltdown when
Prince of Persia.
Jasmine, okay, they didn't care about Prince of Persia. This was before the whole woke thing. But Aladdin, I remember the huge stink that caused because the woman that played Princess Jasmine was half English. And they're like, this is unacceptable. She needs to be from the Middle East. It's fictional. It's fictional. But now, again, you understand, what is the main issue? What is the fundamental issue here is, or the recurring theme is, Americans. Fucking Americans. They do not understand and they cannot grasp anything outside of their own stupid bubble. And they always poison the discourse around culture. And it pisses me off. Because now we got dickheads like Lance from the Surfs. I'm sure you know Lance from the Surfs, right? With like part of the leftist mafia. Anyway, this fucking idiot who is sitting there, like, because it's Sacha Baron Cohen, he's like, oh, Sacha Baron Cohen, he mocked black culture. because of Ali G, and I'm like, fuck you. You don't understand what
I saw.
Ali G
Look,
is about.
I saw your TikTok video on that. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't look at it as black culture. I look at it as youth culture, and because to say that is black culture, speaking slang and wearing all this sort of clothes and going booyaka shy and all that shit. That's almost like an insult to black people to a degree. By saying this is your culture by being
it is an
this way.
insult. Exactly.
So
It's us that took it to the extreme. Asians, Greeks, Turks, that took that culture to the and made it like fucking a joke. Like Ali G is accurate.
It's just youth culture of that era.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was a combination of different, ethnic groups and stuff like that molded into what it was, to what it is at that for that particular
but
period.
Americans or American adjacent twats like Canadians are saying that Ali G was racist against black culture, and I'm like, listen, you want to criticize Borat, that's fair. You want to criticize Bruno character, that's fair, but not Ali G. You don't understand Ali G. Why? Because you don't live in this country and you don't know why Ali G is, and you haven't bothered to research it. And this is the other thing that annoys me. So this is why, like, again, with the whole thing with the Odyssey, it's literally like I get to the point where I have to grit my teeth because the Americans are going to take over the discourse around it, and they're going to ruin it, and they're going to poison it, and that's what they've done. However, the one positive I will say about the Odyssey is that it's opened up a brand new generation of people to the books. The literature has skyrocketed in the charts, and more people are buying the Odyssey, are expanding their knowledge into more Greek mythology and other myths. And that's the other positive I see to it, that this film, although it's not for me because the aesthetics and the script are ludicrous, I don't care about the casting. I've said that before. I don't care. They lost me when they didn't cast like Greek actors in a prominent role, in which case it's just like whoever.
Yeah, 300. There's a fucking jock playing fucking Leonardo.
For fuck's sake. And nobody talks about that film, but hey, it's big muscular white man.
I love that film. It's one of my favorites.
I love it. Great. It was huge in Greece. But Greeks understood that this film is a comic book adaptation. It's not just talking about. It's not supposed to be some kind of accurate historical representation of the events of 300. It is, but it's adopted from the comic book 300, which is really good comic book, and all this kind of shit. But the beauty of this Fallout is, one, that film's making money, which is great. It's made its budget back, and secondly, people are opening their minds and their eyes to Greek culture, Greek mythology, and that makes me very fucking happy. So.
It's like James Bond, by the way. Like, I think James Bond is, nationality wise, I think he's Scottish, not English.
Right. Yeah.
And only one fucking jock has played fucking James Bond, and that's the original, and that's Sean Connery. No one gives a flying fuck. And what I'm basically trying to get at, Ginge, is that for me, if you look like you could pass for a particular nationality, that's good enough. You don't have to be that nationality. Like Gal Gadot, as much as I hate the bitch, she was supposed to play Cleopatra in an adaptation. Now people are complaining because she's not Greek, but honestly, if she said she was Greek, people wouldn't bat her an eyelid because she could pass for Greek fucking easily. Would you agree?
Yeah, she played a Greek. She played Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is Greek.
Of course, yeah, of course.
Wonder Woman is Greek.
Yeah.
Nobody's said shit about that. And
Diana Prince,
But again, you see, do you know what the argument was with people? Then was saying she's too skinny. It's like, oh, you can't fucking win with these idiots. So it's like, no, Gal Gadot. Yeah, again, the fallout is she's a twat. But let's take that away from it. If she was to play Cleopatra, it wouldn't be too bad of a historical portrayal. Cleopatra would have had slightly darker skin, but stick that woman under a tan in the sun for a couple of hours, and bang, you wouldn't tell the difference. But like, you're 100% right. If she turned around and said, "I'm Greek," nobody would have bat an eyelid, because there's plenty of Greek women that look like Gal Gadot. Unfortunately, none of them in my sphere, because that would have been nice. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, someone like me, I could play a variety of different nationalities you know. And
That's
you know,
right. You could play a terrorist from India. You could play a terrorist from Pakistan.
You know, we were with us when we were talking about this. Who was I talking to about this? But we were talking about this yesterday on Star Trek. Like the movie short. You know, like I was watching this thing on TikTok where they say films that have aged very poorly, and apparently the movie Short Circuit, the movie Johnny Number 5, and all that shit. Yeah, that film apparently aged poorly because of Fisher Stevens' portrayal of an Indian guy in that movie. Now, as an Indian guy myself, I have no problems with brownface. I really don't, if it's done correctly and they play it authentically. Fisher Stevens, I actually couldn't believe that he wasn't Indian. I thought he was fucking Indian.
Yeah.
You know, when I found that, and when I watched the movie Hackers, and he's the villain in that, I thought, hold on, aren't you the fucking guy from Short Circuit? You're not even fucking, what the fuck? I couldn't believe it. You know, and and like, you know, Peter Sellers played an Indian guy in a movie called The Party. It's a really good film from the 60s.
Great film.
Yeah, I love that film. It's such a good
my dad's favorite film.
A hilarious comedy, one of my favorite Sellers comedy. I love that film. And then there's obviously Ben Kingsley playing Gandhi. You know,
well, Ben Kingsley is Indian.
Is he?
Yeah, he's Indian, so he's alright.
Fair enough. His name is Ben
I didn't
Kingsley.
know because he changed his name, you know. But yeah, he's Indian.
And even other things like Pat Roach in Raiders of the Lost Ark. In one scene, he played a Mongolian, even though he played a Nazi as well. In the bar fight in Raiders of the Lost Ark, he was a fucking Mongolian. They gave him the John Wayne makeup to make him look more Mongolian. And then in Temple of Doom, he played the fucking Sikh. You know what I mean? And he's using, you know, Punjabi words, but Johnny Karo, which means child, hurry up, you know, and stuff like that. You know,
okay.
You know, I'm thinking about he's saying all these, but they brown faced him and shit like that to make him look like a fucking Indian. You know, they've done that with a few people in that movie, but I have no problem. Like, it's weird in a way. Like blackface, I can understand because black people and white people, you know, they are significantly different feature wise. Yeah, feature wise, but brown people and white people, apart from our skin color, we're very similar feature wise. We're the same feature wise. So you can brown face us, you know, and get away with it. I think I have no problem with brown face. Even what's his face, Matt Lucas. You know, he plays the Pakistani guy in Little Britain. You know,
no, in Come Fly With Me.
Is it?
Oh, the shop worker one, planning a bank. That one.
No, but he plays the guy. He plays like a bold Pakistani guy.
Oh no, yeah, that was Come Fly With Me.
And they ask him, "What's your favorite food?" And he goes, "What's your favorite English food?" And he goes, "Chinese," and something like that.
That's Come Fly With Me.
You know, but it's been done so many times, like, and if it's done right, I have no problem with it. These guys are actors; they're fucking acting. That's what it means to be an actor, you know.
Look,
so yeah.
Again, through the tinted eyes of Americana, the tribal thing of, because you got to understand as well, their attitude towards cultures is gatekeeping as well. Like, no, Americans are notorious gatekeepers for a lot of things, and the way they talk about black culture is like they want to just gatekeep it for black people, and it's just like that's not how the fucking world works. Okay, shared culture, shared ideas. Now, unpopular opinion, but within context, is I don't actually have a problem with blackface. I've had discussions about this before, as long as it's not doing it as a send-up. Like, again, back to Little Britain, George Lucas, Matt Lucas, when he played Mr. T. Do you remember that sketch?
Yeah.
Didn't put on any kind of accent. Didn't do anything. It was just him in a blackface, where the guy, David Williams' character, is like, "You look familiar. Are you not?" You know, because it looks like Mr. T. Everything about him is Mr. T, and he's just sitting there like, "You look familiar. I don't know anyway." And then, you know, the end of the sketch is him driving off in the 18 van. He's just like, "Yeah, see you, mate," and that's it. And it was a funny sketch. He does also do the black preacher thing, which was, again, just not really, like, it's not racist. It's just him doing the black preacher kind of mannerism.
Yeah, you're making sense actually. Have you seen Soul Man with C. Thomas Howell?
No.
he basically there's this white guy who wants to get into university, but because he can only he's more likely to get into the university if he's a black guy. So he takes this pill or whatever that melanates his skin, and he ends up being black. And obviously he's doing blackface and he's curled up his hair a bit and stuff like that. But he's not really black. But it was made in the 80s.
Yeah.
Some people say that film was aged really poorly. I can't remember. I know I've seen the film. I can't remember anything about the movie.
I know.
But
I've never heard of it.
and then but he did blackface obviously and all of that. I think the film was actually quite funny in a way. Obviously, let's not forget most recently, Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder, which was phenomenal. And that film was a send-up. I love that film, man. I love that film.
But I'm glad like people love it. Yeah, that's fine.
The send-up of Hollywood was fantastic. Even what's his face, Weird Al Yankovic. He's played Michael Jackson. I mean, playing him more recently is not so bad because Michael Jackson himself was losing the melanation of his skin. But he also played James Brown when he did Living with a Hernia, and he had to blackface himself up a little bit for that. But he was trying to portray a character, not to send up, But I don't know, like, if you're doing Al Johnston, Mammy, fuck you.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know
Fuck you.
Fuck you. Yeah, I mean, fuck you. But there's a fine line, and what is acceptable and what isn't, and
but again,
Al Johnson Mummy isn't that.
You see the difference in attitudes towards it from non-Americans. You know what I mean? We're looking at it like, look, context is key. It is fine because you're doing it as an homage rather than just to be like, if you just sit there, put on some fucking dreads, blackface, and like in say Trading Place, and they go, yeah man, Jamaica, all this kind of shit, and it's like,
oh my god, that was brilliant. Yeah.
All right. I mean, that's exactly what I mean. Like, if you're just doing that, that's fucking stupid. For that era, I get it. But if you're doing that in today's era, without proper context, and it's like when people are like, oh my god, Peter Andre, he has to fake being a Jamaican Rastafari and all that. Well, what's the context? He has to run away to Jamaica because and all this kind of shit. And he doesn't even blackface. He just kind of slightly tans up. But like I said, like, again, if you want to pay an homage, like Lenny Henry, do you remember the film that he did when
True Identity?
True Identity. He plays a white guy, a white Jewish stereotype in that whole fucking film. Okay, and you know what? True Identity is a very underrated film. I can't
remember it, by the way. It's been such a long.
It's really good. He was wanted by the mafia. And
Hollywood.
He has to go over to. He goes over to the States to kind of hide, and he dresses up as a white. He white faces and all this kind of shit.
Dude, Eddie Murphy's been doing shit like that. He fucking he played a Jewish guy.
A Jewish guy.
In Coming to America.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
Yeah, he even did like Steve Martin. He pretended to be Steve Martin once.
Did he?
Yeah, because Steve Martin is one of his influences.
That's true. Yeah, well, they did one of the most underrated films together, which was Bowfinger. I fucking love that film. I love Bowfinger. But this is what I mean. But now, it's like a sacred cow. You can't touch it anymore. And you can say, okay, we've evolved beyond that and all this kind of shit. But it's like, you shouldn't, it's still okay to do it if it's done tastefully or done in a good way. But of course, now you can't do that because the whole discourse around it has just been completely fucking poisoned. So it's just like, okay, well, fine. It's better to leave it. And like, I mean, you can't do a lot of shit in comedy anymore. That was good. Most of it, by the way, it's not the like send up gays or all that. Most of it's political. Like if you look at comedies from the 80s and 90s, it was very political and very left leaning. Whereas now, fucking forget it. That stuff is just, it doesn't get greenlit anymore. It's gone. And that's what people don't understand when we say like comedy died because it got hijacked by nepo rich fuckers and not people that are politically aware of things, or they are, but they make sure to suppress proper politics. So if you look at, for example, Drop the Dead Donkey, my favorite sitcom of all time.
Oh my god, that was amazing.
Okay, both of those are my two favorite sitcoms of all time, equally on equal measure. Drop the Dead Donkey it's a very deeply political satire program, and in there they openly talk about like, my God, she's taken half an inch off my desk. You're as bad as an Israeli. Like an open attack. Yeah. Okay. They constantly talk about Zionism and how bad it is. Like, you get it. So yeah, it's in there. It's, you know, and they're like, and there was the thing, like in today's episode, they talk about Israelis shooting Palestinian children. This is back in the fucking 90s. You know what I mean? You won't get shit like that today. It just wouldn't be greenlit. And it's written by two of the greatest writers of all time, who have also did what's that film with the kids? And it's from their perspective and all that. It's a more recent kind of comedy. You wouldn't get shit like that. The comedy died because political discourse was not allowed in comedy anymore. And that's what
Do you remember Aeroplane? That scene where the two black guys in this, and the waitress can't, sorry, the stewardess can't understand them. And then this old white woman comes along and goes, "Excuse me, stewardess, I speak jive."
Yeah,
yeah. Yeah, that was great. I love that scene. By the way, I want to show you this. Here we go. Check this out.
Careful of the music. So you've got music in it.
You see, have you noticed the white bit is the A?
Yeah. That definitely wouldn't get made today, and it fucking
How have you
shouldn't.
not seen that movie, man? Mate, you're 80s kids, man. How do you not know this?
It just passed me by. Yeah, it passed me by.
Daniel Barnes knows this. Well done, Daniel. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've let me side down. I want to. I just want. So, what did it say? 53,000. Okay. Right.
So I'm going to pay for you to go to Harvard yourself. Like, that ain't gonna fucking happen.
Yeah.
Chunky.
1988, that film came out. Jesus,
it's got what's her face from
$150,000 to do law school. Fuck that. You'll be paying that off for the rest of your life.
It got what's her face from Commando in it.
The black chick.
Yeah.
Oh, she was so hot.
Yeah.
That was Commando. That's a classic. Yeah, no, I mean that shouldn't get made today. There is a fucking limit. Like if it was just that doing the blackface thing to do that, but it does like a whole Stevie Wonder thing. It does a Prince thing. It does a fucking Black Panther thing. That's just like, good God, man. Oh Lord. But yeah. Anyway.
Let's wrap it up, man.
Let's wrap it up. Been a very good stream. Alex, you were the MVP. I mean, Vance, you're always our MVP. But Alex, thank you for joining us. They're probably gone now. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining us. We'll be back for another one. And on that note,